Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten, the show where 5 DMs take on D&D's top Gothic horror campaign. As always, I'm Dragna Carta, your host and DM, and thank you to everyone for joining us after our brief hiatus. I don't think we have too much to go over today.
Back?
So, no? Twan, am I missing anything?
Be back. Missed you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Hi.
Hello.
It is good to be back. We missed you all, so thank you for sticking around.
Ready to watch us die, kids?
Oh, love it. All right, well, I think we're ready to hop right back into our good times at the Amber Temple. So, without any further ado, let's dive in and get started with Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten. All right, and welcome back, everyone, to Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten. So, last we left off on our journey through Barovia. Our friends had met Casimir, the Dusk Elf leader of the encampment of Dusk Elves, just outside of Valaki's walls. There, he invited them to travel southward up the slopes of Mount Gacchus along Slenka Pass to the Amber Temple, a location that he said may hold the secrets to Strahd's vampirism and dark immortality, as well as the power, he hoped, to resurrect his own fallen sister, Petrina. After leaving Viktor Valakovich at the old tower at Lake Baratok, the group ascended Slenka Pass, traveling along the mountain path and making their way beyond several hazards along the way, among them bypassing a curtain of green flame that barred the path forward, killing or driving away multiple creatures that appeared to be spies of Strahd von Zarevich, bypassing an apparition of a dark horse and rider that stood in their path across a bridge over an abyss, and killing Sangzur, or Bloodhorn, the giant goat that haunted the peaks and cliffs of Slenka Pass. Not long afterwards, after a night's rest spent at the gatehouse of the pass and traveling toward the peak of the mountain further, the party arrived outside the Amber Temple. There, after Casimir described the hazards within, Lilith and Metreon found within a side fissure adjacent to the main entryway a party of berserkers, mountain folk who had taken shelter there from the elements. Together through enchantment and disguise, Lilith and Metreon lured them out through the fissure and out into the open, where the companions and berserkers did battle. Though a dire wolf fled into the snow and darkness and fog, the berserkers themselves were dealt with and put down, removing their bloodthirst and devotion to Strahd from the immediate picture. Together, the companions entered into the front way of the Amber Temple via this crack in the mountain, there closing the doors to the central chamber in which Casimir had warned them dwelt a powerful foe or force, and within prepared themselves for what would come in the next room beyond. And so, the group of you find yourselves once more in the bare stone room in which the mountain folk once dwelled. You can see the 6 bedrolls of stitched animal furs covering the floor and the faint light flickering in torch sconces around the walls of the chamber. All of you together, as you line up and prepare yourselves, feel a strange, almost uncomfortable prickling on the back of your necks. Though from stress or adrenaline or some other source, you cannot quite say. As you line yourselves up in front of the doors, you have but a moment to prepare yourselves. What would everyone like to do?
Roll on the spirit table, of course.
Always.
Beautiful.
Is that Randy dancing?
Yeah, that's him hopping from foot to foot, trying to keep the cold out of his bones. He is shivering hard. Whatever you paid for these furs and the Locky Metreon, they were too much. The cold cuts right through these.
Thankfully, we got a discount then, didn't we?
Thank goodness.
You hear a cough from the corner, and you see Ismark look up and glance over the lot of you. These things, these fire spirits, they cast great magics, right? Like the one that you cast at Yesur Hill. And he looks at Earthrendir.
Aerith nods. Stay well back until you are ready to combat him.
He nods. Irina takes a step beside him. Davian gives a short bark of laughter. I don't think I mind if I take up on that offer as well. I ain't the hardiest of fighters.
Well, there's not much that can stand up to a ballistic fireball, so very smart.
Casimir nods. All right, in that case, I suppose if we're looking to get started with a bit of a polymorph magic, I can cast it, and then it'd probably be easiest for me if I stay well out of sight. I can assist from the sidelines, but if I get caught in the crossfire, well, the spell will likely vanish in a heartbeat.
Good plan. It's novel having a plan. We normally just kind of are too panicked to have a moment to prepare ourselves for these things.
Yeah, we just kind of fling our shit to the walls and hope it sticks.
We normally have a plan and then we immediately abandon it, to be fair.
Point taken. We can still get there.
So what are we doing, Kate? We doing this? We getting in there?
Yeah.
All right.
Casimir meets Lillison's eyes. Right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm not certain I'll be ever ready, but whenever you're ready.
He nods and slowly lifts his hands and begins chanting the words of a spell. You see twisting dark green whirls of magical energy begin to spiral through the air from his outstretched fingertips, wrapping around Lillison's form like a cocoon. You see dark red veins like blood pulsing through the mass of power, and slowly as they begin to encircle her, you see her previous form vanish behind this veil of arcane power and then slowly begin to expand. You see Lillison's form itself slowly vanish, the fine details falling out of focus as a larger, bulkier shape emerges. You see a massive beast. You actually find yourself stepping backward a half step to make room for it, as this enormous creature with long, bulky limbs, broad shoulders, a misshapen, strange, almost alien head with long tendrils hanging from either side, and then the magic bursts, the cocoon splitting, and you see before you a great beast forged entirely of thorns and brambles. Its eyes like glowing cinders of yellow viridian light, roots like tendrils dribbling from its mouth. It's behind its head a crest of intertwining branches. In places upon its flesh you see points where dead grass sprout from between the points, and small beads of blood-red sap drip from places between its wood-carved muscles.
Well, that's terrifying.
Lilison, you should have the stat block for the blood bramble beast.
I do. Can I speak in this form? And also, how am I going to get through that door?
You cannot
Squeezing
speak in this
rules.
form. You have the intelligence described on there. You can understand the languages, but you cannot speak in this form, no. But you can
I see.
communicate via sign language appropriate to a 7 intelligence creature.
Okay. With that amount of intelligence and also a very small amount of wisdom, the thing that once was Lillison is going to just slam one fist real hard against the wall, and just hulk for a moment.
Jesus.
Who's Jesus?
Old Lathendarian saint. It's a long story.
Yeah. This is a good look for you, Lil. Yeah, just point that thing at others, people, not us. And I point to her fist, her giant, thorny fist.
Casimir winces. Usually back when I used to saw these things roaming the trees, well, there was quite a spot more grass. The sap was sweet-scented, and there usually seemed to be birds nesting in the mantles.
Yeah,
I don't
Casimir,
think that,
I don't think that this is what you saw exactly. Because this is a fucking nightmare, actually.
Barovia has a way of doing it, but if nothing else, no matter what glimmerings or glamour it has, it packs the same punch. I saw one of these knock down a tree with a single blow. I don't doubt she should be capable of just the same. And at that, Esmeralda nods and chants a word, and you watch as 3 shimmering, illusory forms of herself spring up around her as she casts Mirror Image.
Aerith puts his blade up and hums and lets the magic of the blade song surround him, and then looks at the creature that presumably still is Lillison. All right, whenever you're ready.
The creature dips its head very slowly and closes its giant fist with a crackling sound.
All right, whenever you're ready. The doors stand closed before you.
Okay. The thing that was Lillison is going to turn and try to punch through the doors. Can I?
The doors themselves do not have turn handles as such. In fact, they're fairly brute instruments. And moving forward, you're able to pound them with both of your mighty fists, blasting them open. Not entirely off their hinges, but enough to make clear the passageway to the other side. You can see, on the other side of the doors, that the walls of this 20-foot wide, 70-foot long arched corridor are sheathed in amber. The southern half of the hall is scorched by fire, and a charred corpse lies on the floor here under a burned fur cloak. Several amber doors lead from this hall, and 3 arrow slits are cut into the east wall. Floating in the middle of the hall are 3 skulls wreathed in green flame. At the sound of the massive boom of your fist, and as your shape stands in the shadows on the opposite side of the door, all 3 burning skulls whirl to face you.
Dragna?
Yes.
I'm cutting words in their initiative.
Okay. Is there anything that Lillison would like to do to start things off? Just at the stage. Are you squeezing your way through?
Lillison's going to squeeze her way through and just take up a position on the other side.
All right. With that, as this massive beast squeezes through the doors, pushing its bulk through the path onto the other side, you watch as suddenly the emerald green lights in the skull's eyes kindle to a blazing crimson. One of them, murmuring toward you and past you, says in a voice like the crackling of embers, "More fools come to plead at the shrines of dark power." Another replies, "Yet they come without Exathanta's blessing." The third hisses, "So eager to splinter their souls to the prisoners of amber." And the first says, "A shame they shall be burned away first." And I will need everyone to roll initiative, please.
Cool.
Great.
14.
22.
25.
I assume I use this thing's initiative?
You use its
You do.
stacks, yeah.
22.
Oh,
Very
And
good.
the cutting words is 6, bringing their initiative from an 11 to a 5.
Okay. It affects all of them or just one of them?
Depends heavily on how you run initiative.
Is it one creature?
It is one creature, yes. That being said, I'm fine taking that back if it'll make the combat more complicated.
Nope, it's fine. I'll just add a second one for 2 of them at, you said, -5?
At just 5.
All right. All right, so one of them, let's say the one in the back, will have the 5 initiative.
That works.
And with that, all right, Erthrindir, you are up. What's going on?
Okay, well, Bladesong already tapped. He rushes forward, squeezing past the enormous beast, and seeing them grouped up, knows he's probably not going to get a better chance than this. He can't quite reach them and wants to give Lillison room to move, so he'll duck behind one of these walls to give himself some semblance of cover, and then let the glow of a shatter spell take over.
Okay.
Which hits all 3.
Beautiful. And just so you know, you can see there on the map that the one on the bottom left is 10 feet above the ground. The one in the back is 5 feet above the ground.
That does not
They
matter for
are
this.
floating. I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay, so that's a DC 14 con save or 13 thunder.
The top one and the left one fail. The right one succeeds.
Splendid.
And let me check something. All right, they have no resistance or immunity to thunder.
Woohoo! Alright. In that case, that's his turn. As he just waves the others forward. Come on!
All right, with that, Lillison, in your new monstrous form, you hear the sound of resounding crack as the floor explodes into shards and splintered bits of amber and granite stone. The flame skulls themselves being blown back for a moment, their forms sent spiraling through the air as though blown off course by the thunderous force. In that moment, you have an opening to bear your way through. What are you doing?
The beast lets out a bellow of rage and joy and thunders forward. There's going to have to be some squeezing again because I guess walls.
You have enough room. You should be fine.
Yeah. And then is going to rear up on its hind legs and just bear forward. One fist towards the left flame skull and one fist towards the right flame skull. So
Okay, go for it. Roll to hit twice.
that is a 27 to hit.
Okay. Okay.
And another 27 to hit.
Okay, I'm gonna need to check something real quick. Excuse me. I don't. Yeah, they don't. Yeah. How much damage is that? Both of those hit.
That's 26 damage on the first one and 25 damage on the second one.
Okay, so the first one you smash into the side of its head. You actually hear the bone crack and splinter with little shards falling down like flame-wreathed glitter down to the amber floor below. You watch as the fire in its eyes actually flickers and nearly goes out for a moment before it kindles back to the size of a tiny, timid candlelight. The other one follows suit, just barely looking any better. They are not looking great.
Excellent, that's my turn.
Beautiful. God damn. Alright, so that's a fucking freight train in the face. Metreon, what's going on? You just saw Lillison storm the hell in and smash 2 skulls that you can't quite see, but the sound that she made cracked your ears like a whip. What are you doing next?
I'm marveling in awe of this horrible creature that is Lillison, but I am gonna go up to the door, and I'm gonna go ahead and take my bonus action hide.
Okay.
And then, no, I'm gonna step out into the hall and then try and hide. Can I hide behind one of these like outcroppings?
Are you stepping into the hall, or are you staying in the room where you entered?
I was asking if I can hide behind one of those little outcroppings in the hall with the flame skulls. I'd do that.
I would say that those are not quite big enough to present a hiding place.
Okay. So then, yeah, damn. Well, and when in doubt, I'll just blast. So I'm going to go ahead and... which one was the one that looks most hurt? By
The one at the left looks absolutely demolished right now. The one on the right is not doing much better.
All right, I'm going to take a shot at that one then.
All right, go for it. You do have, I would say, because of the massive fucking polymorph beast standing in front of you, I would say that they have 3/4 cover. So -5 to hit.
Ooh, okay.
Well, if he successfully hit, he has advantage, though.
This is true.
Sorry, bear with me, my boundaries.
All good.
19.
19 will hit. What's the damage?
It's going to be 8 plus 3, so 11 force damage.
All right. You managed to look just as for a moment, Lewis's body sways, the fist cratering toward the right flame skull. In that moment, just beneath a spot between where the joints connect to this massive creature, you see an opening. You smash the Eldritch Blast forward as it crackles through the air and crashes into the side of the skull, completely shattering it. You watch as shards of bone fall down like smoke and ashes to the floor below, completely evaporating until there's not a flicker of flame remaining.
Cool. And then with my second one, just going to cross my arm over it. I'm going to shoot the other one that Lillison hit.
All right. This will also be at -5 to hit.
No, that doesn't hit.
Unfortunately, this one actually, just as Lillison shifts her massive weight, it crashes across the top of her shoulder. Not enough to wound, but just at a glancing blow. Lillison, you hear like this almost like insultingly soft like pat on the back of your back that you don't entirely notice for a moment. But Metreon, you just realize, oh yeah, I should probably aim better when there's this massive hulking brute between me and my target.
Well, thinking that Hulk Lillison is going to destroy me for accidentally slapping her shoulder with an Eldritch Blast, I am going to use my bonus action to hide now.
Very fair.
That's 23 on the stealth.
All right, you hide very cleanly behind this alcove.
That's my turn.
All right, very good. That is the end of your turn. Next up is Davian Mardukov, who is going to radiant action, shoot a crossbow at anything that comes through that door. Ismark is going to do the same. Amity, you are up.
Amity is gonna rush forward.
Oh, and one thing that's relevant to you, Amity. Do you currently have Detect Magic up?
I do have Detect Magic up.
Okay, then beneath the furred cloak covering the charred corpse on the floor, you can just faintly see a glow of conjuration and evocation magic writhing.
I don't think I know that. I just know there's magic within 30 feet. I need to use my action to see the aura. Yeah, and
gotcha.
I'm not going to do that yet.
All right, very fair. But you do see magic writhing around some kind of long, slender object, around 4 to 5 feet long, beneath the cloak.
Okay, well, I'm not going to use my action to investigate yet, though Ebony sort of looks the other way for a second. Rushing forward. Oh, all right, don't let him get away. Yep, just push him right like that. So the flame skull further away from her needs to make a strength saving throw or get pulled right into the delicious brambles of Lillison's form.
So this is what exactly?
A strength saving throw.
Gotcha.
I know there's a rare.
Yep, all good. That they do not have a good saving throw modifier. That is a 12.
Okay, so they get pulled one space forward, 5 feet forward, right into the loving embrace of these thorny vines.
Were you targeting the one at the back, I guess?
Yeah, the one further away. So basically,
Gotcha.
Neither of them will be able to run away until
without
they
AOs.
want. Yeah, exactly.
Very nice.
All right. Listen, if you can hear me, you've got it from here. Amity will use her action to cast a shatter spell. And I'm actually going to upcast this all the way to level 3.
Ooh,
to
spicy.
hit both of these nice little skulls. So they both have to make Constitution saves now.
That is 2 successes, so they both take half damage, right?
Oh no, they both take half damage. How unfortunate. And the damage is some low numbers, so that's going to be 8 damage to each of them of the thunder variety.
Yep. You hear this thunderous noise again, the howl of the great ethereal wolf summoned by Amity's spell. it splits the air, and for a moment you see these skulls trembling, shaking, as though every feature of their bony forms are racked at precisely the wrong or perhaps right frequency. It seems to be a torturous pain for them, but they grit their teeth and the flames burn brighter, especially for the left one that fixes its gaze upon you. Is that the end of your turn?
Uh-oh. Yes, it is.
All right, Kiva, you are up. You are vibing back with Esmeralda next to Casimir. You can hear some shit going down in the next corridor. What would you like to do?
Just vibe. No, she's going to, like, spin move around Esmeralda, look through those doors, and she's gonna cast, what's that spell? Protection from Evil and Good, on Lillison's massive body, so that she gets disadvantage on any attack rolls made against her from undead.
Gotcha. I believe that's a touch
that's
spell.
Touch.
Yeah, so you need to be next to her. Do you want to move?
Can I run up and do that?
I think you should have it. 1, 2, 3,
I have
4, 5,
40
6.
feet.
You just barely have the movement.
Yeah, all right. She's gonna slap her on the back, hit her with that protection from Evil and Good.
All right, very good. Lillison, as you do, you watch as suddenly bursting from between the thorns and brambles and harsh ash-colored bark of the creature, sprouting small vines covered with purple-blue flowers and small spines that glitter with a strange fey light. All right, is that the end of your turn? I believe you're now concentrating, right?
Yes, that is it. Thank you so much.
All right, very good. That's the end of your turn. Irina will take the ready action with her crossbow. Casimir will... Erthrin, you and Kiva and Amity, you hear you yell, "How's it going up there?"
1 down, 2 to go.
All right, keep at it, and he will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I love him.
He's gonna stay where he is for the moment, and that's mostly because I put him so far back that he actually can't get in range without taking shelter again. So, with that, it is now the Flameskull's turn for the first time in combat.
Yay!
One of them.
Yes, one of them. The one on the right. You watch as its eyes flare up with this eldritch burning energy. It opens its jaw, and then a tiny missile of pure flame jets out, spiraling until it crashes and stops on the floor between the 5 of you, and then bursts outward in a massive combustive force. This is going to be a fireball.
Whee!
Why?
And it's centered to just hit one of us?
Yeah, because I'm hiding, so like it totally can't hit me. So whatever.
It spreads around corners.
I'm hiding behind Lillison, so Lillison's not a corner.
Regrettably.
Does a 6 save?
A 6 does not save.
What?
What about a natural 1?
How about a 10? No, an 18. Oh, yeah, I saved.
I'm
Fuck
feeling
yeah.
a 10. That's
18
exciting.
here as well.
All right. So, Kiva and Lillison each take 14 points of fire damage. Amity, Metrin, and Erthrindir each take 28.
And as Erthrindir does...
Correct.
he
Amity and Metron also only take 14,
take 14.
right?
Yeah.
Very good.
And Erthrindir would take 28, but he raises his wand, slashing out a quick, desperate elven glyph in the air. And the fire spreads around him as he casts Absorb Elements.
Nice.
All right. And so with that, the fire burns away, charring through the terrain around you. As for a moment you watch as Erthrindir lifts his arm, and that similar wispy fog appears, but this time charged with small crackling wisps of Arctic energy, absorbing the bulk of the flaming blast. Erthrindir, as you pull back from the spell, looking down on the ground, you see that the charred fur cloak that had covered the corpse of the south side has been partially burned away. And poking through the now ember-carved hole in the fabric, you see a hauntingly familiar glint of tiny shards of crystalline ice joined together.
No! Don't, nobody touch that!
All right, with that, it's Esmeralda's turn. Esmeralda will take a step forward. 3, 4, 5, 6. Leaping over the corpse on the ground. Taking a look and saying, "Oh, well, I came here to try to help out, but I guess there's not much needed. Guess I'll help clean up." She raises her hands with the wand and twists it through the air, and you watch as spiraling through the dark and gloom are, let's say, a trio of magic missiles. One toward the one on the right, and 2 toward the one on the left. Alright, so that's going to be 2 points of force damage. Smashing against the one on the right, and actually shattering it, popping it like a balloon from the outside. It crumples to the ground in a small pile of bone-white shards. The one on the left takes 4 points of force damage. And that is the end of Esmeralda's turn. It is the other Flame Skull's turn. And at that moment, Esmeralda looks up and sees its eyes glimmer again, blazing with a fierce, demonic, fiery light. And Kiva and Amity, you hear her murmur, "Oh shit, I thought I'd say it all already." And then the Flame Skull spits out a second fireball toward the now 5 of you.
Oh no!
I would just like to
R.I.P.
take this
please.
moment to say that 14 damage from, the half damage that Lilison took just now, if she had been in Lilison form, that would have knocked her flat on the ground.
I was gonna say, wouldn't it fucking murked her?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's going to be... Let's see what everyone gets.
20.
12.
10.
17.
Okay. So, Erthrindir and Lilison each take 10 points of fire damage. Amity, Kiva, and Metreon... Oh, and I gotta make it for Esmeralda too. Esmeralda also succeeds. So she will take 10. And yes, Amity... Sorry, no. Erthrindir and Lilison both take 20 points of fire damage.
I absorb elements, stays until the
So
start
you
of
do?
my next turn.
Beautiful. So you take half that.
And Metron and Amity don't take any, right? Because we saved.
Oh, wait, we take 5, right? Or maybe
yes,
you don't take any because
take
you have
5.
evasion or something.
I
Wait,
wish.
if we save, we take 5?
How much
no, if you
damage
save, you
was
take
the
10.
unsaved fireball, Dragna?
20.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Amity takes 5 damage.
Okay.
All right, beautiful. That is the end of the Flame Skull's turn as it hisses, spitting with anger and spite. It gazes down upon you with flaring eyes. "You may destroy our forms here, but you may not rest well. The guardians of this place will find and devour your bodies if your souls are not torn apart first." That is the end of its turn. Erthrindir, you are top of initiative.
He lets the hum of the blade song guide him forward. Still burning, and my foundry just crashed. Splendid.
Alas, no worries. Any ideas on what you might like to do?
He is going to
There's
hit it with
one
his
left.
sword.
All right, it did not float up in the ground, so it did not see a point to that. So yes, you are adjacent to it. You'd like to hit it with your sword, right? It is like diagonally like 5 feet up, so you kind of have to like jump a little
He'll
awkwardly.
jump. He'll do the overhand jump and strike, Zelda style.
Yeah. Actually, with the blade song active, you have that going on, right?
Yes.
It's actually like a swirling, elegant dance, a pirouetting leap, like a ballet shifting motion, and striking true right toward where the skull lies. That's going to be, you're just hitting that with your...
Just short sword.
All right.
I'm
That
going to load back
is-
in.
All good. It's okay. I rolled for you. Or no, you rolled for yourself.
Oh, that's a 10.
All right, a 10. Unfortunately, it carves, swiping right across the side as the Flame Skull abruptly shifts to the side, dodging the attack with the last dregs of mobility it has and the leverage it retains, even in its weakened state. Is it the end of your turn?
Yep, he'll let Lillison bring this home.
All right. Lillison, there is one puny small skull floating in the air in front of you. It looks, the last one that you touched kind of like singed some of your hairs or whatever those roots are. But it looks ripe for another punching. What would you like to do?
I would like to glare down at it for a moment, all covered in roots and brambles and like also the nice little flowers that Kiva gave me or something. And then wonder if after I punch it to a pulp, it would be nice for eating. So here's fist number 1.
Oh no. Go for it.
That's a 25 to hit.
That's a fucking freight train. You pulverize it in one blow. You just smash it to the ground like an absolute fist of God, just conging it into the concrete of the amber floor. You actually see cracks spiderwebbing out from the ground area, from where the impact of the force hit. And when she lifts up her massive clenched fist, there's just a fine powder on the ground, just flickering faintly with emerald light that then dissipates.
Aerith would think that was really cool if he didn't have other priorities right now.
All right. So the flame skulls for the moment are dealt with. Evidently, what is everyone doing?
Are we out of initiative?
I'd say so for the moment.
Well,
You watch this one crumple, and for a moment, you're left alone in the corridor in the darkness.
Lillison is looking around for any fragments that are still big enough to, eat, just as a statement of spite.
Make a investigation check for me. With disadvantage because these are very tiny and you are very not.
Oh gosh, investigation with my new...
Yep.
Oh
Yes.
god.
So the four of you see Lillison's massive form kind of like sifting around and poking around these small bits and pieces of shattered skull on the ground.
That's gonna be a 7.
All right, so while that's happening, what are the rest of you doing?
Coming out of hiding and falling to my knees.
Aerith's scorched, hair burnt, but he barely notices as he races over to this cloak and just frantically kicks the cloak with his boot to slam it against the wall. It's there. It's the staff.
Do you know this thing? I mean, I can see it now. It's magic.
Right. I think you were asleep when we talked about it. Do you remember you brought me into a dream last night about this place, one of your visions, and this thing controlled my mind and sunk its teeth into my heart. It's dangerous. I don't know what it is, but your prophetic visions came to me to warn me about it. So, don't touch it. And also, damn, I don't even remember. Can you destroy magic items? Is that a thing? I don't even...
As you're saying this, you hear the sound of footsteps coming from the southern chamber, and you see Davian Mardukov poke his head around the corner, holding one of the torches from the sconces in the southern room in his hand. Is all over in there?
Yeah, we're done.
He nods. Right. He looks down at the figure on the ground. What in the blazes happened to this poor sap? But I suppose the blazes might be the right word for it.
Don't touch him.
He raises his hands. Look, lad, I don't make a habit of touching dead people, alright?
Just making sure.
You hear footsteps echoing as Casimir, Ismark, and Irina slowly follow up.
Metreon will take a moment by the door, and everyone who can see him can see his body start to kind of emanate with that corona of whitish light, and I'm going to go ahead and heal myself.
Okay, and while that's happening, Kiva, do you mind giving me a concentration check for that protection from evil and good?
I already did, and I lost it on the second fireball that hit me. So
I am so sorry.
you know, it's fine. I'm going to just blame Zio for reminding me because it's his fault.
It's all good.
Lillison gives up on finding a fragment of skull big enough to crunch and, stares down at everybody else for a moment. And
Can
then
Eva weave some of the flowers in your chest into a flower crown for you?
Maybe, but Lilson actually turns and starts just like barreling down towards the next set of doors.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Oh
Jesus
yes.
Christ.
Lil.
Can you understand us? Give a thumbs up if.
Does
Esmeralda
anyone
says,
have a
"Wait,
really
we
giant
need to-"
leash?
She's already like reaching out to her cloak, and you see like beneath her jacket like the little holsters of holy water vials. Wait, we need to. Oh shit!
Kiva
Alright, so Lilison's gonna
activates
try to-
the sun sword like a flare in Jurassic Park, trying to get the T-Rex.
All right. Lilison, are you just trying to smash through those doors and see what's on the other side?
Uh-huh.
Aerith is going to run after her and try and pull her back.
Sure. What's the speed of your stat block, Lilison?
40 feet.
What's
Mine
your
is
speed?
also 40 feet at the moment.
All right, I will say make a grapple check, contested by Lilison's choice of athletics or acrobatics.
Oh boy. Oh, right, her acrobat. Her athletic.
I actually rolled real low for that. That's just a 12.
Oh.
3.
No, she tears through your grasp. Like, you, like, get a hand around, like, her ankle and then stumble on the ground, kind of slipping on one of the small piles of bone dust, and she just barrels forward without even paying you a second thought.
God damn it. Lilison, you're gonna get us killed.
Lilison, are you doing it?
I'm doing it.
All right, you slam those doors open. Looking on the other side, you see that torches and sconces illuminate a dining table in the center of this room. Covering the table is a magnificent feast that fills the hall with the rich smells of cooked meat, sweet vegetables, piping hot gravy, and wine. A closed pair of amber doors stands to the east. So, what would you or anyone else like to do?
Lilison's gonna squeeze through and just like stand in the corner for a moment. I want to give everybody else a chance to do stuff as well.
Casimir's going to try to jog up toward you.
Amity's
Oh,
also
he's
going to
doing
try to jog up, not knowing that there's delicious food in the room beyond. Cast minor illusion to make like a honeycomb pile appear in the corner here. Lilison, can you understand?
Lilison does not appear to understand.
Aerith shares a look with Casimir. Alright, that room's safe, but if she keeps doing this, can you drop the spell?
He gives a nod. He actually turns to head. Lilison, I'm fairly certain that you can understand what I'm saying. Do you want me to drop the spell?
There is a very loud, very angry roar.
Casimir winces and says, right, I'll keep it in place for now.
Aerith's going to squeeze through the door, seeing what's in the next room.
Right.
What on earth?
While this is happening, Kiva approaches you and says, listen, Kiva, do you mind giving me a hand? She beckons to Metreon. You as well, if you don't mind. And she points down at the scattered piles of bone smithereens. As for what Casimir said, we probably need to make sure these get properly evaporated so they don't come back a bit grumpier in an hour after their nap, yes?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Absolutely.
And she-
Yeah.
She takes out 2 vials from her holster and hands them to you. Try to make sure that you get those little shards. I don't know how much they can regenerate from.
Yeah,
far
Metro
as
just very vigorously sprinkles the holy water all over the remains and even up and down some of the walls just to be safe.
Yeah, Kiva will do the same, and then when she's done, she'll like make sure she saves like a drop and just sort of like Simba her own forehead. She doesn't know how it works, but it's an attempt. And then if she's walking up past that door and were to like, put her ear against it, would there be anything that she could hear?
Sure. So make a perception check. While you're doing that, what are Amity and Metreon doing?
Metron was just helping Lilison. Not Lilison.
Yes, right.
Esmeralda.
So what's Amity doing?
Amity is sort of cautiously keeping to this big thorn beast's back, just sort of peering into this food zone.
All right.
She notices a magic item here, I think, or...
I'm getting there.
Sorry.
It's okay. Your detect magic is still active. Looking through, you detect, first off, an aura of magic around most of the room. The torches, the feast, the chairs, as well as an aura of magic around a green copper ewer embossed with images of dancing bears and other animals carved at the center of the table.
Oh, wow. Everything's magic in here. What school is it?
Using your action, what are you inspecting first?
Let's start with the lights.
The lights are illusion magic.
Oh, okay, watch out, because there's illusion magic in here, so maybe this whole thing is just all fake. As people respond to that, she's going to continue inspecting the rest.
Gotcha. Well, Anthony, what are you doing?
He's taking a cautious sort of step around the room. Yeah, I'd imagine so. I don't think anybody set out a feast and then just for us and then just kind of left. This feels like a trap. But I can smell it. That's what's messing with me. Like, usually illusions are just visual or audible, but they must have been damn good.
At this point, Amity, you find that the feast and the chairs are themselves glowing with illusion magic. The copper ewer, however, is shining with transmutation magic.
Mm-hmm. As she's inspecting this, has the blood beast destroyed the table yet, or
what is
No.
Lilith doing?
Lillison is sitting in a corner, kind of just like staring at the table.
All right. Amity's going to report to Castamere and Earthrendir. Oh, that one's the green one in the middle. That's actually transmutation. I don't know what that means for like what spells on it.
About that. Like what sort of effects something of that nature enchanted transmutation might have?
Like maybe it's actually a cat, but it's been turned into a jug. Amity shrugs.
Oi, Casimir.
He gives you a glance and a nod.
You been up and down this hall then, yeah?
Shakes his head, chuckling. No, I'm quite afraid that this is the first time I've ever stepped past those doors. I hadn't dared to combat those spirits before now. I frankly am somewhat awed in the way that you all managed to dispatch them.
So you don't have any idea as to what's behind these doors, do you?
Not in the slightest, I'm afraid. Hopefully we can find some hintings of what we might find if we keep our eyes open.
As he says that, can I check to see if I hear any noise behind the door?
Yes, while that's happening, Kiva, what was your perception check for the door to the north of that? And Metron, feel free to give me yours as well whenever you get a chance.
I got it to 14.
Okay, with a 14, you hear nothing. Absolute silence.
And I don't know if it'd be a different check, but can I see if whether or not the door is locked or trapped or anything like that?
Doesn't seem to be locked.
I'm gonna very carefully just crack the door open, just enough so I can see like a general gist of the room.
All right. If you'd like to crack that door and take a look at the other side.
Hi, so sorry. That was my
You're
push
good?
to talk was being
You're
a
good?
problem. It was a 10.
Yes, a 10, you hear nothing on the other side. Similar silence. And you hear the creak of the amber door kind of scratching against the floor as Metron peers through his own door.
Okay,
Would
can
you do the
Kiva
same for yours?
sort of like, crack it open and take a look?
All right, go for it. So first, Metron, peering through your doorway, you see a 20-foot long, 10-foot high hallway of bare stone that has an amber door at each end, one at the side and one at the far end. Kiva, peering in past your door, you see that dominating this room is a 12-foot tall model of a dark castle with high walls and tall spires. Behind it, tucked in a corner, are some ruined furnishings and a wooden chest.
Does this seem like a certain castle that we spied in a certain village of a certain country?
You have not actually seen any castles up close sufficiently to know what they exactly look like, but it looks like a suitably imposing castle.
Dope. Okay, she's gonna, if she doesn't recognize it as being a thing that she'd probably want to stay away from, she's just gonna go over and start playing with the Lego set.
All right, there are no figurines of sorts, but there does seem to be quite an expansive setup. Esmeralda will take a glance inside and follow you as her own mirror image spell winks out. Metron, what are you doing?
So Metron steps inside this small hallway, looking at the ground though, just to make sure that there's no plates that might be, that could be depressed or anything like that, trapped. And if there's
Make a
not,
perception check
yeah,
or investigation, your choice.
I'll do perception. 14.
14. You don't notice any pressure plates or anything out of the ordinary along the floor or walls?
Okay. So I'm just gonna go up to the doors then. And you said they're just made of like solid amber, right?
Yes, just solid blocks of amber. There are like handle spaces where you could open them, but otherwise they're pretty just brute blocks.
It's probably futile, but I do just, as a precaution, want to try and I know they're solid amber, but I do want to try and see if I can hear anything.
Go for it. Make a perception check. Well, that's happening. Amity and Earthendir and Lillison, what are you doing?
Aerith's circled the room and is kind of cautiously approaching Lillison in the way one might deal with like a frightened dog. Just kind of perversely, despite the fact that it's like 10 feet taller than him, and he's crouching down, looking up at her. Hey, we're all right, okay? Just, can you understand what I'm saying? Give me some sort of sign.
The beast narrows its eyes and then turns towards the next set of doors and makes a questioning noise.
Aerith shakes his head. Not yet. We're not all together, and we want to be sure we're not gonna be attacked from the front and behind. We need to clear that hallway first.
Low, grumbling, grumpy noise.
Well, I know, it's boring. Find a way to pass the time? Don't suppose you can play cards with those hands. You'd probably tear them apart. Want a story?
The beast sits down and then lifts its gigantic fists and then, crackles them menacingly for a moment as, they get balled up into fists and then released again, and then sets them down very gently on the floor next to it.
Wow, okay. We are gonna have a lot of questions when this thing's done. Okay, yeah, let's take a minute while the others explore. It's an old Austrian folktale about a gang of revolutionary pirates, about Captain Salamander and his crew. Let me tell it. And he will sit down with the beast and try his best to keep her distracted.
Okay. Well, that's happening. Amity, are you listening to the story as well?
Sure, unless her companions shout out some point of interest as they explore.
Okay. Kiva, while you're in the room, Esmeralda enters behind you. By the gods, this is this is impressive.
Do you recognize the castle?
I do not, but there's only one castle in Barovia that I know of. This one seems suitably impressive.
When we were in that house, there was a toy in the attic where the children were, and it's basically like a miniature of the house in exactly the way that we had found it. Do you think this might be something worth examining for similar reasons?
I suppose it can't hurt to try. Maybe if we wanted to take a closer. And she frowns, blinking, and kind of stares off toward the side of the table. 1 second, I just need to take a look at something. You keep looking at the model, yes? And she takes
Yeah.
a step around the side of the table and is making her way down the side of the room.
Kiva
Metreon, what are you
watches her
doing?
a little quizzically, but then dives into the castle.
All right, Metreon, what are you doing? You've got another door at the end of this hallway.
Well, yeah. So my perception check was 15.
All right, you don't hear anything on the other side.
All right. So indulge me if you will, because though Metron is a coward, he knows that the sooner we get what we came for, the sooner we get to leave. So I'm gonna, if you don't mind, roll a d4. 1 or 2, I'm gonna open the door. 3 or 4, I'm going to walk away.
Go for it.
And I walk away.
All right.
Oi, there's a door back here, a big old amber door. Set of 2. I couldn't hear anything behind it, but they looked impressive. Mean anything to anybody?
Irina and Ismark exchange glances and shake their heads. Casimir looks back. I don't think that, I know where that might lead. I don't have a good layout of this place in my head, but do we want to regroup and then decide which path we're going to take next?
Yeah, sounds right. And I'll join the others.
Okay. All right. With that, you hear footsteps approaching. Erthrindir and Amity, and you hear Irina making her way over. She leans over as Erthrindir tells a story and kind of murmurs to Amity and Metreon. I looked in the doorway of the other room. I think Kiva and Esmeralda found something. Some big model of a castle. I don't know if it's important.
Amity is gonna go check it out.
Yeah,
Amity
Metreon
nods, not wanting to interrupt the story.
Looking in here, Kiva, you kind of slowly begin to examine it. You hear footsteps approaching as the others, Metron and Amity, enter the room. The two of you see it as well. This massive 12-foot tall model of this massive, dark castle with walls and spires, as well as these furnishings and the wooden chest.
Is this a model of the temple we're in?
No, I don't think it is.
Doesn't look like it. No.
Yeah, the temple don't got no drawbridge.
In fact, if you'd like, as you're looking at this, let me pull up a handout that I have.
Hey, Dragon, why don't you pull up that handout?
Ooh.
That's quite the handout.
That's a castle I have no familiarity with.
None whatsoever.
None at all.
That's a
It's the one
castle?
in Horde of the Dragon Queen.
No, this is the castle in Princes of the Apocalypse, right?
Obviously. Cragmaw Keep. It's been a long time.
Oh, this is the house that we've got waiting for us when we leave, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in
No,
a
no.
sense.
This is Death House.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What is this, some kind of murder house?
Oh my god. At that, Davian peers in. Well, hell. That's a... I reckon I know what you're looking at there.
What
Well,
we're
good,
looking at.
because we're all standing around with our thumbs up our asses, so why don't you tell us what this is?
I ain't seen it for myself, but it reminds me of descriptions I heard of Ravenloft. Zarevich's castle, way up in the mountains to the east.
Yeah, I
It's got
think
the
we should
spires, see the
definitely-
big tower there in the north peak.
Anyone
the-
have a
Trench
paper
going
and
across
pencil?
the chasm.
Wait,
I'll
what?
probably take note of some important layouts here, right?
Esmeralda, you have a map of all of Barovia, right?
At this point, you see, looking over in the corner, Esmeralda's on her hands and knees, and you hear a small click. And Esmeralda glances over her shoulders. Hey, I think I found some kind of secret passage in here. Maybe a compartment?
Is that what you were looking for this whole time?
I saw some scratches on the floor, see? And she kind of points down at the area around her. I think that it's been traversed quite frequently. I thought it might be worth checking out. Just in case anything snuck up on us,
No, that's a good idea. Kiva's gonna go over with the sun sword as like a flashlight and look down the passageway if she can.
Alright, Esmeralda will hold up a hand. I'm not going to open it yet. I found the latch to open the mechanism, but do we want to wait till we have everyone in place so we know where to go next?
Well, Lil certainly isn't going to fit in here, so...
Yeah, how is she, by the way? I mean, we keeping her just that way? I mean... You saw how she just kind of barreled in there. And I'll appreciate a bit of recklessness here and there. And he gestures towards Kiva. But aside from that, and he points at the little area that Esmeralda found. I don't think she's gonna fit.
I don't know if she's going to fit through the doors that you found either. It seems that unless we can find sufficiently wide open spaces for her to continue, we might need to lift the spell to proceed much further. But I suppose we haven't seen what lies at the northern end yet. Should we regroup with Ascender and listen and see what we all think of where to go?
Yeah, sounds right.
Before we do you still have that map of all of Barovia with you?
She nods. I do, yes, here. And she pulls over to the side of the table, right where the drawbridge lies, and there's kind of this open space of just a sheer cliff face, and she unrolls it over the surface there.
Oh, I thought I remember this, right. So when I was looking at the castle on the map earlier, it's not just like a grey rectangle on the map. There's actually some detail drawn in on your map, Esmeralda, assuming what she has is like the map that we saw earlier. Does this match the one there?
Do you mean the castle?
Right, I mean like the little shape drawn on the big map of Barovia and, Dollhouse here.
She looks thoughtful for a second, looking over it. It does seem to quite resemble it now that I look at it. It seems to have that same... I mean, it is a keep. They don't tend to be sessionally shaped, but see the rectangular assortment, yes. And if you see the ways that the side walls align, it does quite resemble it. You have a sharp eye, Amity.
Thanks. Now, I was looking at it earlier when I was trying to figure out, like, the whole sunlight east part of that one Taroka reading. All right. I mean, that means you have a sharp eye, Davian, because now we know what the castle's shaped like.
Kiva, by this point, you found that there seem to be no movable parts to this model. It seems to be just a sheer rock-carved model of the exterior.
Okay, she is gonna try to take note of, like, because when we that first black carriage encounter happened on the cobblestone path going up to the castle, right?
Yes. Or at least at the crossroads where the path to the castle joins the main road.
Understood.
So I would say, Amity, your detect magic spell recently ended.
Cool. I'll start recasting it.
Okay.
So would it be a reasonable assumption for Kiva, based on the invitation and the model and the map, be like the only way that we're getting in if we follow Strahd's instruction is that drawbridge?
Sounds about right. I mean, looking over it and cross-referencing with Esmeralda's map, you don't see any other entryways. It seems that, and this matches up with what you expect of most castles and makes. Lords and kings, tend to have very easily defensible castles, especially with moats and other chasms that they can use to obstruct the path. So it stands to reason that a fortified castle keep would have an easily controlled path in and out of the castle, such as a drawbridge. Especially given your experience of Strahd's history as a general.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Do we want to go check on Lil? Maybe just figure out a plan?
That sounds reasonable enough, and Kiva's gonna, offer Ez a hand to get up from the ground and then go and find the hulking mass of Lillison.
Yep.
She will take it, and Davian stepping out to make room as the group of you proceeds back to the corridor. into the room where I presume Erthendir is continuing or finishing up his tale.
And as the crew of the good ship Sparrow watched her burn, they counted their losses. They knew that the Shiralian fleet had been destroyed, but only at a terrible cost, not least of which was the body of the brave, noble parrot that had saved their lives. And so, they lowered him into the sea and set off across the waves for new lands, free of the hand of tyranny, where they could sail and plunder as they pleased, and so took their place in legend. The end. Oh, hey y'all, I've just been keeping Lilson company. What have you found?
Well, we found a path, and we found a model at the castle. Might help us, navigating it.
Of the Strahd's castle?
Yeah, that's the one.
Why is that here?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. This is an ancient temple for old wizards, right? Like,
Did it make sense for Death House to have a scale model of Death House in the attic of Death House?
kinda. Like, I can see making a dollhouse out of your home. That's kind of cool.
Well, maybe this is a dollhouse. Maybe it was.
Yeah, but
Strahd's
that implies that
dollhouse.
the people that built this place had a connection with the people who built Ravenloft. That's insane. Was the castle built by wizards?
Maybe it was.
Casimir looks thoughtful for a second. From what I recall, there was rumors going around. I didn't hear much of them. We tended to keep to ourselves, especially in those days. But I did hear whisperings that there were Archmage's wizards that had been summoned to Barovia to raise the Castle Ravenloft from the stone of the Pillar Stone.
Was this during Strahd's time or before?
Ravenloft was built over a period of a few years after he first settled in the valley. Like I said, I kept away from it myself, but...
No, I understand, but that means that he knew the people here. That means he's been here, in all likelihood.
He's nodding, and I think the likelihood that he took something from this place is only growing stronger. There must be something here that we can find about him.
Alright, well, can we, take the model with us? If that would be splendid to have while we're planning our infiltration.
Esmeralda exchanges a look with Kiva. It is a bit, oversized, don't you think?
Lillison stands up.
If you want to be the one to carry it, be my absolute guest.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so where next? Or I think Lillison's getting a bit antsy.
Yeah, maybe later when Lillison's back, do you think we could try to hack into the model to, get every single one of the rooms?
Not a bad plan.
What
Might be on our
hacking?
way out, though. For now, though, you said Metreon found a passage?
No, it's Esmeralda.
Oh, alright.
I found a pair of doors. But they was
Well, in
big
that
and heavy.
case, let's take a moment, peek through this, see what's through here, and if it's something we want, we let Lillison go through, and if it's something we don't want, we go through one of those.
DM. Now that
Yes.
I'm closer to this dining area, do I smell the food or?
You absolutely smell this food. It smells delicious.
Something tells me this spread here, while smelling delicious, probably isn't good to eat, right?
Yeah, Amity figured it out. It's an illusion.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I wouldn't have been able to eat any anyway.
Can Aerith crack the doors he's right next to a fragment to see what's outside?
By all means, go for it.
Okay. He looks at the others, sort of letting them know he's doing this, and then what does he see?
You see beyond a black marble balcony that overhangs the northwest corner of a vast sepulchral darkness, the floor of which lies 30 feet below. Nearly half of the balcony has fallen away, and obvious cracks have formed near its ragged edge. A pair of closed doors sits on the north side of the balcony, near a place where the ledge grows narrow and cracks have spiderwebbed across the dark marble surface. Beside these doors, a dark arrow slit looks out over the vast, darkened space. Beyond the edge of the balcony, you can see lying a black marble column supporting a vaulted ceiling overhead. 50 feet to the east, you see standing a 40-foot-tall statue of a cowled figure in flowing robes, just faintly illuminated by the extent of your dark vision. You can see that the statue's stone hands are outstretched, as if in the midst of casting a spell.
He carefully pulls the door shut, turns back to the others. All right, Casimir, you said the room you got nearly murdered in had a big stone statue, right?
He nods. Caught a glimpse of it for but a second in the explosion of flames that, well, nearly killed me.
Well, I think we might have taken care of those, but at the end... but, yeah, big old statue, and also another set of big double doors on the balcony leading up north.
Oh, no, well, unless they moved around. The flame that killed me wasn't from this chamber.
Oh. Okay, maybe we don't go that way until we need to, then.
Perhaps that might be the wisest idea. There might be other routes we can delve into.
All right. But, yeah, there's a big old set of double doors we can take when we're ready. For now, though, I vote we go through what y'all discovered first.
There's also the magic jug on the table.
Oh, right.
I didn't know if we're going to inspect it or if we think danger.
Aerith kind of looks back at the charred remains of the person in the other hallway. Well, given the other magic thing we found in here was something that I had a prophetic dream about, that where it tried to kill me, I'm not inclined to try it. But if you want to, I support you.
Amity nods.
All right. Were any of the doors y'all found big enough for Lillison?
Az shakes her head. If she's going to make her way into any of these other spaces, she's going to have to shrink down.
Then I think it's probably time.
Angry grumbles.
I'm sorry. Odds are we'll need to do this again when we clear out more.
DM.
Yes.
You said there was like a copper jug on the table?
Yes. Amity pointed it out and mentioned that it's magical in some way.
And does it look kind of maybe expensive-ish?
If you want, you can take a closer look at it.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
All right. You step toward. You see this again. This green copper ewer embossed with images on the sides. You see dancing bears, elks, and wolves. It's beautifully carved, though obviously green with age. As you lean forward toward it, extending a hand as if to inspect closer, you feel a strong prickling in the back of your neck. Airthunder and Amity, you shiver as a chill wind sweeps through the chamber, and you see the torches flicker, almost extinguishing for a moment before flaring back into life.
We need to not be here anymore. Something's wrong.
Yeah, right. And Metron will take it and make sure that no one's looking, and then kind of pocket it into his bag and just cover his bag up and keep going.
Okay. With that, you reach forward and grab the ewer from the table, and as soon as you do, the light in the room vanishes, winking out, as suddenly the chamber around you is plunged into darkness. Each of the torches, one by one, extinguishing, poof, 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 and you watch as the illusions of the food on the table wink out, leaving nothing behind. Just the copper ewer standing in the center.
I tried to put it in my bag. I don't know if that worked.
As soon as you're trying to do this, you feel this chill wind again, raising the prickling up and down your spine. You feel yourself for a moment gasping for breath as you watch as crystals of ice, unnatural and profane, creeping up the sides of your arm, and slowly floating forth from the shadows of the walls themselves, you see spectral forms emerging, gasping with ragged breaths. You'll need everyone to roll initiative.
Kiva just goes, Metron, it sounds like you fucked something up for us.
You just hear Metron give the loudest girlish scream as he throws the the copper ewer across the hall.
Yes. All right, so I'll need everyone to roll initiative, please. And I would say that Amity, your detective magic is active again.
17.
Okay.
Sound that for us?
All right, let me add everyone to initiative.
Hey, Dragon, I think you added the wrong number of specters. I think there's probably like 7,000 more.
I thought there were fewer.
That's a 13.
No, you're thinking of the ewer.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
Alright.
you!
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
That's an
We have
18.
fun here.
So we do.
You listen, you gotta laugh
Okay,
before you
so-
die.
With that, everyone rolls initiative as you see these spectral forms enter into the chamber. You see just the faint light from the exterior from the sun sword that Kiva bears, as well as the torch that Davian holds, illuminating the space. With that, first up is Amity. As you see these hostile spirits emerge, immediately fix their gazes upon Metreon.
Metreon, did you eat any of the food?
You just hear him scream in reply.
You see him clutching the ewer from the table.
Oh no, I threw it across the hall.
Oh, you threw it across the hall. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Well, shame you'll never know the joy of eating a feast this delicious. And he says, just panicking and casting vicious mockery on the one standing right next to her.
Also, I would say that, Metron, you haven't thrown away the ewer yet. You can do
Okay.
that on your turn.
Okay, fine.
All right. Amity, you're up. What are you doing?
Yeah, so that was a vicious mockery on the one right next to her. So it needs to make some kind of wisdom type save.
That is a 13. That's a failure.
Yeah, that's a failure. So it takes a pittance of damage, meaning 5 psychic damage.
Okay.
And it will have disadvantage on some types of attack roll.
All right.
Speaking of...
Very good.
No, she's not. She's not going to take an AOO. It is now someone else's turn.
Okay, with that, Ismark is up because my monsters keep rolling very low initiatives today. Ismark is going to say to Davian and Irina, "Get back!" He's going to step forward and he's going to actually grab Irina and begin dragging her away from the chamber.
I love that.
And then he's going to take out a crossbow and ready it to attack anything that comes close. All right, Kiva, you're up.
Okay, so can I, like, do a fun little squeezy to get in there?
Yes, you can pass through the space. I would say it takes twice your movement to move through spaces occupied by Lolison. But yes, you can get into the room. You just can't attack from an occupied square.
Okay, so she's gonna make it over there. No, she's not. Because that's a wall. Well, now she's gonna make it over there. And just do, I guess, one attack on this guy. The one that's right next to her. And then she's gonna move 5 feet to that one and hit the other guy with her second attack.
All right, roll 2 attacks.
And I'm gonna bonus action rage, by the way.
Gotcha. And I'm gonna need a rage roll from you, please, for your wild surge.
Oh god, I forgot about that. The whole point of being a wild soul barbarian.
All good, all good.
That's a 1. I don't remember what that one is.
Let's find out.
So the first attack is a 26, because I'm doing...
That will certainly hit.
Great. So that's 13 radiant damage, plus an extra d8, because it's undead. 18 damage for the first guy, and then she's going to do another one, but it can't be reckless this time, so...
All right. With that,
Another
you watch
26!
Well, first off, Amity and Lillison, you watch as Kiva carves through the specter with a blaze of radiant light, splitting it in twain as it evaporates away with a searing white light. The second one, that was a 26 to hit. 12, how much damage?
The second one is 20 points of damage.
20 points. Hot diggity damn.
And this is fun. Because of my rage, each creature of my choice within 30 feet must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take a shit ton of necrotic damage.
Oh boy. Let me
Does that-
check something real
Does
quick.
that give me like all of them? Oh my god, it does.
They're immune.
fuck.
The ghost, yeah.
I will say, in an alternate universe, I did roll for that damage, but you watch as this wave of dark shadow roiling energy spreads across the floor, washing over the specters. Then when it retreats back down into the ground, evaporating, they appear completely unharmed. Unfortunately, they are immune to necrotic energy.
Well, fine, but Kiva is surrounded by a cool, creepy mist like the one outside of Death House and surrounding Barovia, so visual effects are fun.
We love to see it.
It is aesthetic. Beautiful. All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yes, for now.
All right, Lilith and Smash, what's going on?
Lillison is so happy to be able to smash again. She is going to, roar out triumphantly in a way that, usually she would be like, you're making too much noise. And let's see how far I can go. Oh, yeah, okay. She's going to just like trundle across the room, taking some care not to step on Casimir or Metreon.
Casimir appreciates that.
And start attempting to punch things with her fists. So, first fist goes to bottom left.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 10 to hit.
Unfortunately, as your fist speeds with you toward it, it melds back into the wall for a moment, and your bramblethorn knuckles crash against the amber-sheathed walls, causing splinters and cracks to appear, and you can see the ghastly spirit screaming in rage and defiance at you from the opposite side before it melds back into the air, exposing itself once again.
Okay. In that case, I was going to punch the other one, but if it's going to scream at me, I'm going to go for it again.
All right.
That's a 17 to hit.
A 17 will indeed hit.
For 17 damage.
All right, that is reduced to 9 damage as your fist tears through it. You actually feel its intangible substance not give way, but you see wisps of energy surround it. It seems to be burned away somehow by the wisps of will and lingering magic around your fist. You're not dealing magic damage, but it does take 9 points of bludgeoning damage. And is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Beautiful. Irina will step back behind this cover, take out a crossbow, and ready a shot with a somewhat shaky nod to Ismark. Davian will say, "Oh, fucking hell. I didn't expect to fight a bunch of ghosts today." And he will take his crossbow and line up a shot with that one across the way at the north end of the room. And let's see how we do. That is unfortunately a miss as it slices through the air and the thing blurs its form unnaturally quick. He shudders and will retreat back several steps. All right, that is the end of his turn. Casimir is up. Casimir is straight up not having a good time. He will take 2 steps back and fire off a magic missile at the northern one. That'll be 3 times 3 plus another 3, so that'll be 12 points of damage to our friend here. Yes, good. All right, great. That is the end of Casimir's turn, as he will back up as well. Esmeralda is up, and she take a look at the room. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just barely make it to this one up here, and start slicing and dicing with her rapier. That is a hit, dealing 13 points of damage, which demolishes it entirely. All right, that is the end of her turn. She will reach back and holler to the others. All right, they seem to go down pretty easily. Just don't let them touch you. I think they're specters. Earthrendir, you're up.
Okay, well, that's just that is just brought back some trauma from remembering his own analysis back from Death House. He shouts down at Kiva, "The sun! Can you get to the center of the room? They can't. Ghosts can't deal with that." And then he's going to, with a grimace, push past Esmeralda and position himself next to this one. lashing out with a green flame blade, though knowing it's not going to do much.
All right, go for it.
Uh, 10.
Unfortunately not. It ducks weaving to the side, and your attack scratches off the side of the wall, scraping away a bit of the amber coating there, and burning a little bit through it, but unfortunately missing the spirit itself.
Damn it. All right. Yeah, that's his turn.
All right, that is the end of your go. Metreon, you are up. Looking around, you see that the 4 remaining specters, all of their eyes locked on you. They seem to be darting forth back between the Sun Sword and Kiva's hands, as well as your form, but each of them are slowly, malevolently drifting toward you, their hands outstretched. What are you doing?
Screaming, but as I'm screaming and looking at all of them looking at me, I chuck just as a free action, chuck the ewe. What's it called? A ewe?
A ewer, yeah.
Ewer, yes. The ewer across from me to the wall.
Yes, it goes clanking off of the ground and then just slams against the wall and just kind of slides to a halt.
And as I continue to scream, I'm going to use my action to go ahead and cast Sacred Flame on the specter that's in front of me.
Ooh.
All right.
So it needs to make a dex saving.
That is a 10. I believe that's a failure?
That is a failure. So they take 14 radiant damage plus an additional 3 radiant damage.
It shrieks. You watch as suddenly this helix of divine radiance descends upon it and swirling around it and cutting into its chest like fierce barbs of light. With a shriek, it evaporates in a burst of sparks.
And as my movement and just as my movement, I'll run to the doors over here and just kind of cower. And that's my turn.
All right. Their eyes are following you, and with that, their turns begin.
Well, if that's the case, then 5, 10, 20. I'm going to use my bonus action to dash, and I'm going to keep running.
All right. Are you opening the door?
Yes.
All right. You open the door. On the other side, you see everything that Earthendir saw, including, seen from the side, a massive cloaked form, hands outstretched in the darkness, and for a moment, you feel your heart palpitating, and you feel like that hooded cloak looks very familiar.
I will stop dead in my tracks, and feeling that sensation of familiarity, I'm just going to stand there. Not like I almost snap out of the fear that I have over these specters, and I'm just like locked eyes on this statue.
All right.
That's my turn.
That is the end of your turn, and these specters will begin to move forward. One of them will begin. Let me just check something. Oh, do they not have a hover speed? Interesting. One of them will move through you, Earthendir, and across the table.
Ow.
You and Lilith each get AOs if you would like.
Nah. Earthendir's saving it.
Yeah, I'm
Lilith?
holding out for one of the other ones.
All right, it will pass through here. Let me just confirm what its speed is.
50 feet.
Thank you very much. All right, so can I get adjacent to Metreon, passing through the wall, and it will lash out with one of its hands right toward your chest, Metreon.
Okay.
Let me check something real quick. Let's see, the Sun Sword extends... All right, it is on the other side of that, so it is not in sunlight, which means it attacks that disadvantage. Metreon, that is 20 to hit.
That's going to hit me.
All right.
Cutting words.
Can you see it?
We'll see. Metreon left the door open.
So you did. You just barely see it lashing forward.
All right, let's see if this works. Wow. Okay, just down to an 18. Not helping anybody.
Yeah.
An 18 still hits?
Yeah.
All right. It plunges its hand into your chest. You watch as black necrosed veins begin spreading across the point up around your neck, almost as it's attempting to strangle you. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please, as you take 12 damage and possibly something else.
That's going to be a 7.
A 7. All right. You feel the breath leaving your chest, your throat constricting as you feel your flesh grow paler. Your hit point maximum is reduced by 12 points.
I love that for me.
It will remain this way until you reach a long rest. All right. There are 2 other specters, and they
Do I
will
take any
happily-
damage?
Yes, 12 necrotic
Oh, okay,
damage.
got it. All right.
They will happily take their turns as well. First, the southern one will glide through Lillison and trigger an AO if she wants it.
Yes.
All right, this one has not been damaged yet.
Ooh,
Come
that is 10 to hit.
All right, that misses. You smash through the table, actually splintering and causing it to cave in at the center, but the specter lashes out of the way, for a moment becoming fully intangible and avoiding the blow as it hovers through the air, fiercely toward its target. And it is able to get there. It's going to attack Metron as well, placing both hands, this time around his throat as if strangling him. It's going to be another attack. And let me see if they're within the sunlight. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is in sunlight, so it has disadvantage to attack. That is a 6 to hit.
Ain't gonna do it.
All right, Metron, breaking up your hands instinctively to cover yourself, you duck underneath its reach, its hands lashing harmlessly out over the top of your hair, but just barely brushing against them. That is its movement, and the last specter is going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It actually... I think it can get there, but it has to take an AO from Ez, so it's going to do that. She's going to lash it with her rapier. That's going to be a 25 to hit, dealing 6 points of piercing damage. But it will move for Metron, and this time attempt to strangle him as well from the lower perspective. With disadvantage because of Kiva's sunlight. Just barely. Alright, that is a 17 hit with disadvantage. Ouch.
Yep.
Alright, that's going to be 11 points of necrotic damage, and I need another con save, please.
15.
15. You feel the creeping chill down your veins again, but you pull on this wellspring of warmth below you. You feel that divine power singing, and for a moment you hear Father Lucian's voice echoing, and you push away that sensation within and retain your maximum hit points for the moment. That is
Yay.
the end of these specters' turns. Amity, you're up. You see Metron getting ganged up on by 3 specters. What would you like to do?
Wow, I have no clue, but Amity's gonna run in there just to see what's going on. Oh wow. Okay. This could be tough. Amity is going to use the... I don't know if there's a place where I can center a shatter and not just hit some allies, is the slight problem. But what I can do is use Vicious Mockery on the closest one here, because it looks like there's 2 around Metron. Taunting it like... oh, trust me, he's not very good food at all. I'm sure lots of people have tasted him. So it has to make some kind of wisdom saving throw.
Alright. And wow, the unintentional shade. That's a 15. That is a failure. How much damage?
Just 4, but it'll have disadvantage on its next attack.
Very good.
But as a bonus action, Amity is going to try to drag the other one who's next to Metron back towards her. So he has to make a strength saving throw.
Okay, is this a grapple of some kind?
No, as she sort of like asks a ghost, like, all right, just get him away from my friend.
Okay.
So it's a strength saving throw, the most common type of saving throw.
That is a -3.
How?
How the fuck is that even possible?
Spirits, baby.
Well, it
Gotta
gets
love 'em.
moved back 1. Unfortunately, that
Toward
means
you?
it's next to Amity instead.
Yep.
This is not the one that took the Vicious Mockery, by the way. This is the other one.
Oh, this is the other one. This is the one to the north?
Correct.
All right, it gets dragged diagonally through the wall as the 4 of you watch this ethereal spirit of a ghost dressed in mage's robes apparates with a solemn, hollow stare from the ground, grabs the specter and pulls it backward through the wall before dissipating into the earth.
Can someone please kill this thing before it... That's my turn.
Okay, very good. That is the end of Amy's turn. Ismark will continue readying his action. Kiva, you're up.
Is it time to bust some ghosts?
I think so.
Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
Dope. So I can pass through specters, right?
Yes. You get a terrible chill down your spine. Like every bone in your body is just dunked in ice. It's like a brain freeze, but for your full body. But you were able to pass through without harm.
All right, she's gonna reckless the one next to Amity first.
Alrighty.
Didn't even need to reckless. That's a 25.
Alright.
And that's 13 points of damage. Radiant damage.
Alright. You carve right through it in a shower of radiant sparks.
Remember to add your damage from fighting undead.
Oh, do I get another D8 from that?
I mean, only one, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, she already did that.
Oh, might be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
And then Kiva's gonna hippity hop skip through the door, if she can. That one door.
Yeah, you can reach from here if you want.
Oh, okay, great. And
Yeah, you can see
so-
that the as you open the door, move through. You can see that. All right, do you want to do that?
Yeah, for sure, because she wants to get this one away from Metreon. And
Okay,
then
as soon
move
as you
into
do,
the-
you hear a cracking and a crumbling and a splintering as Metron, you look down and you see the spiderwebbing cracks all across the floor, spreading wider and wider. And then with the two of you standing upon it, you hear something crack. And then the floor gives out entirely, the balcony shattering, and as the two of you plunge down to the lower level.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Can I just like throw up a little Wile E. Coyote sign like?
Can Kiva try to get herself underneath Metreon before they fall to the ground?
I'm afraid not. So I'm
Oh,
going to move the
okay.
two of you. Give me a second. This is going to take some setting up.
Do we need to make dex saves or anything, or?
No, but if one of you would like to volunteer to roll 3d6 for me.
Oh, fuck. Who wants
Sure,
to do
I'll
it?
I'll
You
give
got
it a go.
babe? Okay.
Yeah.
Do the specters also fall?
No, they have a hover speed.
And they don't get AOOs, right?
Correct.
Not
This is
from
forced
forced
movement.
Okay, good.
That's gonna be a 7, Dragna.
Very good. Each of you takes 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Love to
And
see
that's
it.
reduced because I'm raging, right?
Is it from weapon attacks specifically?
Oh, I have no fucking idea. I've never been asked that.
I would double check that. So,
Nope. Just
you-
bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Yep, the two of you plunge down and land prone.
Why am I out of an... Oh, okay. Duh.
All good, all good. We'll keep track of it.
Oh, okay. So I guess she can't attack the other specter.
Unfortunately not. As you do, you hear as much. Shit! Stay where you are! We'll slow down the rope!
Yeah, Kiva's like, yeah, no problem. And she's like laying sprawled on the ground.
Yep. Alright, so the two of you land prone. And... Okay, cool. With that, it is Lillison's turn.
Oh gosh, okay. Trundling back across the room. Gonna try to... Gonna try to punch this specter, I guess.
Alright, go for it. Yes, it's gonna have, I would say, half cover here, so -2 to your attacks.
Okay, so the first attack is a 19
Alright, that will hit.
for 19 damage.
Alright, half to 10.
Second attack is going to be a 9.
Unfortunately, that will miss.
Okay. Beast Lillison is going to make a number of very concerned, distressed noises. And that's my turn.
Alright, very good. Next up is Irina. She's going to quickly turn to Ismark. Who had a rope? Was that Erthrendir?
Yeah, I think we gave the rope to Erthrendir to keep with the grappling hook.
Alright, very good. In that case, Irina will ready her action. Davian will ready his action. Casimir will step forward 1, 2, 3, 5, and he will shoot off another magic missile at the specter in the door. That is 5 times 3. That's 15, smashing it entirely. There is no more specter left.
Okay.
All right. Next up is Ez. This is an awkward position to be in. She's going to make a quick Arcana roll for her, actually. Okay, that's fine. She's going to fire off a firebolt for her attack. Yeah, that's fine. That is a 13 to hit. Unfortunately, -2 because of partial cover, and that's misses. She curses and says, "Shit, Eswin, do you still have the rope?
Of course.
Right, toss it to me when you can, and I'll try to lower it down, or you can take it as well." All right, that is the end of her turn. Arthur, you are up. Metrion's on deck.
All right. Hearing the horrible crashing, he sprints across the room to see what happened, and then just, oh god. All right. He rummages in his bag, tosses Esmeralda the rope attached to a grappling hook, and then, yeah, no, not many great options for Spectre fighting, but he'll lash out with another green flame blade.
All right. It has 3/4 cover from this perspective.
Wait. Oh, I didn't know that.
All good. If you want to change it, you can.
I would.
All right. What would you like to do? And you can see that it still seems to be fixated on Metrion, around 30 feet below you.
In that case, he'll step back a bit, knowing that it can op if it wants. And then he's going to pull it into. Does it want?
Oh, you're trying to get an AOO?
I'm not trying to get one, but I am getting one.
I would say sure, it'll take it.
Alright. Is it within Kiva's sunlight?
It is.
Excellent.
Is Kiva's sunlight still working if she's currently on the floor?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
It is actually no. It's 30 feet down, so it's not within your sunlight.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Bollocks.
Yep, so that is it is just barely, because she did not extend the reach of the sunlight on her turn with the bonus action. It is just barely out of reach, by inches.
Okay,
that is 15 to hit you, Arthur.
Nope. And he's going to learn from Amity's lesson and yank it towards him with a lightning lure.
All right. That is a saving throw.
Strength.
That is a -1.
Yeah, no. 9 lightning damage, and it's pulled right to him.
All right, roll the damage.
9.
Beautiful. It hisses, shrieking and screeching and writhing in the grasp of this lightning lasso that is surrounded. You see it crackling in this form of, seems to be bony shapes as they whirl and crackle with electrical sparks of lightning.
Alrighty, that's his turn.
All right, very good. That is the end of your turn. It is Spectre Friend's turn.
It's my turn, actually.
Oh, no, it is your turn. Thank you.
So can I see? I can see the Spectre on my screen, but can Metron see the Spectre from 30 feet up?
Yes, it has 3/4 cover because it is currently, kind of out of the. Actually, no. It has 3/4 cover.
Okay.
You can just barely see it.
Then I am going to go ahead and, just out of instinct, use my movement, half my movement to get up, and then chuck a couple Eldritch Blasts at it.
All right. It's -5 for each one.
It's going to be 12 for the first one.
12 will hit.
Oh, okay, so that's going to be 2 plus, so 5 points of force damage.
Very good.
And then the second one. Nope, natural 1.
7. Unfortunately, it flies wide over its head as the thing twists suddenly as it's jerked by the lightning lure, and the blast smashes across the ceiling overhead, causing a few shards of dust to kind of fall down over Amity and Esmeralda's heads, but otherwise going wide.
And it's still looking at me like it wants to hunt me down.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to use the rest of my movement to keep scrambling up to my up away from it. It's going to be.
Where would you like to move?
I'm going to move. Actually, I'm just going to move back.
Do you want to? If I could also describe your surroundings if you'd like.
Yeah, actually, give me that.
Sure. So, the room you find yourself in now, you see. Well, let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. Okay. You find yourself standing in the top left corner of a vast vaulted chamber. To the very north of you, aside from the statue that you see to your east, to the north you see a broken pair of doors, massive doors leading up to a northern chamber of some kind. To the south west of you, you see a wide corridor with amber-sheathed walls leading westward into the lower level of this temple. And otherwise, there's just a vast open space to the south of you that the statue is facing toward. And beyond that, your vision quickly dissipates into the darkness. You can't see too far.
Yeah, so I've got 15 left of movement. So what I'd say is, just out of instinct, he'd back up 2 squares, and then once he hits the stone statue, it's stone, right?
It's here to be made of granite.
Oh, okay, yeah. So once he hits it and back hits it, and realizing what he felt before, he'll move down diagonally a square and just kind of take pause and look at it again.
Okay, very good. So you're just kind of at the side of the statue looking up at it and taking stock of your situation.
Yeah, but I'm also a square down by its hand.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
All right, very good. With that is the end of your turn. So next up is the Spectre's turn. It's going to float down and away, trigger an AOO from Erthrundir, Lillison, Amity, and Ez. So Lillison and Aerith, do you want to take those first?
Aerith's not taking it.
Lillison will take it.
All right, that'll be at a 3/4 cover again. It's -5 to hit.
Okay, -5. All right, that's a 15 to hit.
Okay. A 15 will hit. Roll some damage.
24.
All right, half to 12. You punch right through it, right through its face, and then it dissipates, wailing in sudden disruption and pain, before it vanishes into a cloud of fine fog. And as it vanishes into nothingness, looking down, you could just faintly see Kiva and Metron on the dark floor below. That is where we're going to take our break.
Well, that was a party.
Woo!
That's quite something.
Rolling.
It certainly is.
25 damage for a basic attack. Feels good.
Sure it does.
Wilson's gonna have feelings about this later.
She should.
That's what we're here for. We got to have those feelings. All right. So, thank you all for sticking with us for the first half of today's episode. We will see you all back here after a quick 15-minute break. As always, a few messages from our D&D community, as well as a fireside chat this week with Tyler of Magic Missile Pod about sandbox DMing and handling unexpected changes. So, we hope you enjoy, and we will see you all back here very soon.
Welcome to Fireside Chat, a short interlude with weekly features where I, Jehoshua Plukas, will be showcasing and interviewing prominent D&D creators. This week, we're talking to Tyler, a dungeon master from the Magic Missile podcast, about responding to and preparing for unexpected scenarios in D&D games. What causes change in a game?
Sandbox games tend to be a lot to prepare for. If you're trying to create a world where your players can go to literally anywhere, preparing every location, NPC, event beforehand, it's incredibly daunting, especially for new DMs. So to think about coming up with entire towns and cities, it's too much to start out. So it's best not to try and prepare everything from the get-go. It's best to kind of leave things up to improv, to playing in the moment. Parties are often unpredictable and can go off the rails, and that's a good thing. Ultimately, as DMs, we want the players to feel like they can do what their characters want to do in our worlds, and oftentimes that doesn't quite line up with what a DM has prepared. It's not uncommon for a DM to prepare for a session only for everything about that preparation to be immediately irrelevant because the party decided to go left instead of right, or talk to person A instead of person B. It's often the nature of the game, and part of what makes playing D&D and other tabletop role-playing games so appealing is the freedom of choice. And so as a DM, it's often hard to be prepared for all of those various choices. But you don't necessarily have to be prepared for all of those choices.
Okay, and how can dungeon masters avoid such problems?
The easiest answer is to repurpose content. If you went through a town and didn't use an NPC from that last town, they might be able to fit in your next town. Got a magic shop that wasn't visited, that might be in the next city. It's easy to just repurpose or reflavor something for a new place if it hasn't been experienced in the past. As an example, in one of the campaigns that we run, our party moved fairly quickly through one of the areas of town, bypassing essentially all of the prepared shops and NPCs, even the plot hooks that I had prepared for that area. But instead of leaving them as, well, they didn't visit that, so I guess that is all unusable, I took those and reflavored some aspects of it, repurposed it, and had it ready for the next town, where the players were able to interact with it. It's also really helpful to understand what makes your world work. Being intimately familiar with the types of places that your world or your setting has, being familiar with the people that inhabit that world, without necessarily knowing the specifics, makes it very easy to create something on the spot. If you know what the customs of a given town are, you can more easily create people that abide by those customs. The biggest help, in my opinion, though, is to have a good set of rollable tables. As a DM, most DMs rely on improv to get through sessions. When put on the spot, I can kind of freeze up sometimes, and having a rollable table in front of me allows for me to come up with something on the fly. While there are thousands of tables online that could very well be used to help keep the game moving, what I found really helpful is kind of combining some elements of those existing rollable tables, not reinventing the wheel, and customizing those tables to fit your setting. Whether that be creating locations or landmarks, to the weather, to plot hooks, to what I've come to rely on, rollable tables for NPCs. Having all of those ready to go and customized to fit your world, your setting, has made coming up with things on the fly so much easier.
How can this preparation help with roleplay?
From what I've found for roleplay purposes, the rollable tables that I use for NPCs have two key aspects to them. The first is character traits, and the other is knowledge. So the character traits that I roll are anything from being quick-witted to charming or blunt or shy, and they're simple descriptions that help determine the high-level personality of a character. And at least that helps me get into what type of character this is. It helps me differentiate this NPC from the last shopkeeper that they met 3 doors down. And as I continue to interact with the party as that character, I start to take notes of how the party responds to them, and essentially follow the Rorschach method for NPCs that Brentenwald talked about a few fireside chats ago. Having the characters kind of adapt to the way that the party sees them helps build out a more defined personality and makes that character unique. Of course, I take notes all along the way, so if the party ever comes back, I know what personality that particular character has. The other part of the NPC table that I prepare is knowledge. Your NPCs exist in the same world as the calamity that your party is off to fight, and they often have some knowledge of what's going on, or at least an opinion on it. To kind of help everything feel cohesive, I have a kind of section of things an NPC might know, and when I roll those NPC details on my table, I give each one a piece of the larger puzzle, or at least an opinion on what that puzzle looks like. For some, that could be as simple as, I need to get out of here before the Demon King takes over, while others might be a little more practical, or almost an entire plot hook, like, my cousin swears he heard a girl's scream coming from that cave, but I think he's full of it. By seeding the NPCs with bits and pieces of this knowledge, it kind of makes the events feel more real, like it's happening to an actual setting versus your players going through a place with scripted non-player characters.
What are the downsides to this type of preparation?
With any sandbox environment, one of the bigger challenges is it's harder to tell a more cohesive story with this. As players go from one unexpected place to another, and you're constantly having to improvise and generate things on the fly, tying everything back into the overarching direction that the game is going can be difficult. However, with the knowledge bits that the NPCs have and understanding the structure of your world well enough, the story kind of comes naturally out of the player's exploration. It becomes less of the story that you write and intend to tell, and more of the story of the players experiencing the world as they walk through it. One of the other downsides is that preparation is pretty front heavy. Getting to know your world, building all these rollable tables, customizing things, it's a bit of upfront work, which can be tough as the campaign is just starting, especially if you're a new DM. But the tools and knowledge built out at the beginning last essentially the length of your campaign. Knowing your world will continue to pay dividends as your campaign goes on, and it makes preparing for future sessions much quicker. However, like any DMing method, this style of preparation, even the style of sandbox games, isn't necessarily for everyone. Some folks jump into the game with little to no preparation and can build everything on the fly. Like I mentioned, I can sometimes freeze up on the spot. It happens. But ultimately, it's all about finding a method that works for you, and then you can use that to build a satisfying game for your players that feels like it's set in a real world.
Where can people find you and your work?
People can find me at Magic Missile Pod on Twitter, and they can view our website at themagicmissile.com. We release a new episode every other week, and we are posting recaps of our sessions to get caught up quickly every weekday.
My friends, it is I, Count Strahd von Zarovich, and I bid thee listen. The Guild of the Black Crow have produced over 5 hours of ambient sound design for my most beautiful and ancient land. As used by Twice Bitten, these ambient backgrounds include my most private and intimate of letters, as well as bonus tracks not found in the Dungeon Master's Handbook. So, hear me now. I guarantee you safe passage to their camp. Support them, and perhaps we shall meet sooner than you think.
If you think your hometown has problems, you haven't spent nearly enough time in the village of Barovia.
Over the years, their taste for human flesh had only grown.
The vampire spawn.
The undead cult, the werewolf den.
I just think we can do a little better here.
Grab our shovels and we're going to add some depth to help you run your best
Curse of Strahd.
Strahd possible. You're welcome.
He flies into a fit of rage that is unparalleled.
There's child abuse galore through this thing. He's been nailed to the wall with very long iron spikes, and I imagine it's been a very uncomfortable time for him.
You see, in tracking a monster, one always needs proper bait.
And welcome back, everyone, to Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten. Before we get started, just a few quick announcements. First off, as always, thank you to all of our raiders and viewers on Twitch. We love you all, we appreciate you all, and we thank you for sticking around for the live portion of this program. As always, thank you to our virtual tabletop sponsors for this campaign, Foundry VTT, through which we have been managing all of the combat on this lovely session today, as well as our sponsor, The Forge, which is an integrated hosting service for your Foundry VTT games. Foundry and The Forge come together to provide a really great online D&D experience. They got support for a lot of different TTRPG systems if D&D is not your jam. Incredibly flexible, incredibly robust, and a lot of great modular options for improving and expanding the experience. So, check them out, Foundry, VTT, and The Forge, and we hope you do enjoy for your virtual tabletop needs. Twy, give us the Twitch pitch.
Welcome. Today, I'm asking for but one simple donation to the Metreon Malfoy Memorial Fund. As now, he's not quite dead yet, but given what's about to be happening, know that you can contribute for just $4.99 a month. You too can contribute in his memory to get wine, weapons, good times, and freedom from misty expanses to all your stylish, crafty rogues all across the world. And you can do that through Twitch Prime, which you can also get with Amazon Prime, or for $4.99 a month. Thank you. Serena?
Rest in peace, y'all.
I forgot what my push to talk button was. If you like what you are listening to, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/r Curse of Strahd, for all of our past channels, fireside chats, and essays from the stream. And as always, you can submit memes, questions for future After Darks, or any topics for fireside chats to our email, twicebittencos@gmail.com.
All right. Well, thank you very much to Serena and Twy. And with that, I think if we're going to dive back, let us return to our good friends at the Amber Temple. So, with that, as the final specter dissipates into the air, you each have a moment to catch your breath. Kiva, at the very bottom below the crumbled balcony, you can see Metreon behind you. You can see the others looking down cautiously toward you. There's a moment of calm for a brief instant. You see Metreon shuddering, trembling in the darkness below the statue's great form. And up ahead, you see Kiva, or you see Esmeralda and the others preparing themselves to toss down additional aid. And there's a moment that passes, a heartbeat, and then as you turn back toward Metreon, you hear the whirring of what sounds like humming energy through the air. And then from above, you see several glowing darts of swirling arcane force spiral through the air and slam into Metreon's chest.
Not good. Can she run over, or is this not her?
It's not your turn.
Mother.
That's going to be 6 points of force damage to Metreon.
Sure. There's no deck save?
No deck save.
All right, cool. Yeah, I stagger back, falling to my knees a bit. Not prone, but just definitely worse for wear.
Kiva's screaming.
All right. With that, it is Amity's turn.
Oh god, oh god. Amity peers over the edge of the ruined balcony. It's 30 feet down, or?
It's 30 feet down, yes.
Okay. And Elorira, the Prince with 1,000 Enemies, evaded the Black Rabbit of Inle. She is going to use her Spirit Bard story to let any fellows who wish it teleport up to 30 feet.
Okay, I will note that Metreon is not within 30 feet of you.
Oh, hang on, what? Sorry, I can't exactly see.
Yeah, we can't see where
Metreon
he is.
Gotcha, yeah, Metreon is pretty far away from you at the moment.
And I can
He's
tell you
around.
that Kiva would not take it unless she knew Metreon could too, so you might want to save it for something else.
Yeah, so she
can also
pauses
ready
on the
an
last
action to
word of
use
the
it if you
story.
want.
Exactly. She's pausing on the last word of the story. She's readying an action. She's saying, "Come right down to the base, right below me. Get over here, quick!" And yeah, she's readying that action, hoping that whatever just fired that spell will need to wait a cycle before doing it again.
All right. With that, Kiva, what are you doing?
So Kiva is going to, since she's already standing, go over to Metreon like this. Directionally, did she see that standing in this position would block him from getting hit again, or does she have to be at the angle here? Or does it not really matter?
It seems that it came from above.
Okay, so she's going to try to, like, cover him with her body as much as possible and help him stand up. And as she does that, she's going to use her lay on hands, give him the full 15 hit points. And then sort of stay, like, as much as she can, human shielding, because he looks like shit and she can take the brunt of stuff, at least for a little bit, until they can get back over to Amity.
But this turn, you're not going to get back over to me?
She doesn't have enough movement to get back over there.
I mean, you moved 1, 2, 3. You moved like 3 or 4 spaces. You have enough movement to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You've only got to be within 30 feet.
Can I drag Metreon there too?
That'd be like half movement, though, right?
Yeah, if you're
That's what I
dragging
meant.
him,
Yeah, I feel like I'm dragging him back. I'm making sure that she's not going to leave him there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, you can just move. You get the sense that he'll be able to move to follow you. Speaking from a meta perspective, whatever happened to him happened after his turn in initiative.
Okay, great. So then, yeah, she'll move back and wait for him to follow.
Yep. All right.
And that's her turn.
Okay. All right. With that, anything from Lillison?
Lillison, I don't think can actually go anywhere right now because everybody's in the way. But looking through the open doors, is the entire balcony just like completely
It's gone.
Okay, no way to sort of like edge around and get to the doors on the north?
I mean, you do have a climb speed.
I do have a climb speed. Okay, the plan has changed. Lillison is gonna squeeze through everybody here and just like flump right down onto the ground floor.
Okay.
I cannot actually move myself. Yeah, there we go.
I will just put you there. Let's say that you're on the ground floor.
And she is going to probably, oh god, she's gonna start moving over to the statue and start climbing up the statue.
Yes.
I'm in pain.
All right.
I'm quite sure I can't actually get all the way up because I have been using some amount of movement, but
Yes, yeah, I would say you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I would say I can say you can get to the base of it. Like you can just like slam your hands against the side of it. But yeah, you can't actually get inside or start climbing it.
Okay. How sturdy does it seem?
Pretty sturdy. It seems to be, sculpted, it's a pretty big granite statue. It's pretty immense. It's got to weigh several thousands of tons.
I am also immense.
Not quite that big. This thing's 40 feet tall. You're like 15.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay, very fair. That is the end of your turn. Irina will carefully move forward, as will Ismark. What's going on?
There's some sort of magician. Stay back.
Right. The two of them will take a step back, out into cover. Davian will remain where he is. Casimir will... He'll stay where he is. He looks somewhat pale, though. Damn, are you going to be able to get them back up? I don't know whatever's out there. And what the hell is Lillison doing?
If I knew, I'd tell you. But I think Amity can get him back if they just get close enough.
Right.
But
right.
I don't know. Until we can get her back over here, don't drop the spell. I don't want her
He
out in the
nods.
open.
Esmeralda prepares the rope and grappling hook to drop in case she needs to. Earthinder, your turn. Anything you're doing?
Wait, is Esmeralda not putting the rope down?
She's ready in action to do so as soon as she gets a signal or anyone starts approaching.
Can't she just?
Heard that Amity seems to be.
Oh, it's got the grappling hook attached to it. Can't she just put it down?
It would take an action to do that, and she wants to ready an action. So just
But isn't the action she's readying to put it down?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, she'll choose an action to kind of lodge it right in the side of the wall. She'll find a good place for it. I think that's fair.
Radical. All right, he looks over at Amity. How many people can your story carry?
Amity checks dnd.wiki. It's my charisma. I think 6.
Okay.
6.
What's your charisma modifier?
Yeah,
so, you have
so
an
that's
18,
plus
I think?
5. No, I have a 20, so it's plus 5, so it's 6 people.
Cool.
Okay. Shit. Yeah. For the moment, Aerith's gonna stay up here, and he's going to ready an action for something else. Can you ready bonus actions or only main actions?
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we'll get there. It's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, better
We're
question.
worrying.
Did he see where the magic came from?
No. I would say that none of you got a clear glimpse of it.
All right, so his priority
But just
to
keep
get
us all that
these
it came from above.
All right. Damn it. Then for now, he's just going to dodge no. Fuck, I feel useless. He yells down at Kiva. Did any of y'all see where it came from?
Kiva yells, up!
Okay. Well then, haven't had to pull this old chestnut out in a while. And he is going to cast Dissonant Whispers. Does not need line of sight.
Okay. What are you
Interesting.
targeting with this?
The one creature of your choice within range.
You are aware of no creatures of your choice within range. Would you like to target the statue?
Point taken. Alright. Dodge. Do nothing.
Alright, very good. That is the end of your turn. Metreon, you're up and you're hurting. There is a very large Lilith next to you, and Kiva, beckoning you furiously. You think Amity's trying to tell some kind of story or cast some kind of magic from above. What are you doing?
Yeah. So getting up, kind of still smelling like the morning dew from Kiva's lay on hands. Smell of fresh cut grass. I'm going to go ahead and move as close as I can to Kiva. We're kind of trying to run around Queen Kong over here. I'm just going to try and get as far away from the statue as possible.
All right. With that, Amity, your trigger goes off. Who are you targeting with this?
I am targeting Kiva, but Kiva can choose 5 other people that also get the benefit.
All right, Kiva, who would you like to be able to teleport as or
Lily
creatures?
is in her range.
Within 30 feet of Amity, right?
Within 30 feet of me, I thought.
You want to be within 30 feet of Amity if where you want to go is Amity. But yeah, within 30 feet of Kiva is the trigger.
Ah, fuck.
All right. So Metron is right next to you right now.
Yeah, she...
And Lilith is also right next to you.
Okay, she's taking Metron to Lillison then, yeah. And we're
All right.
bouncing.
Metron, would you like to use your reaction to tail along?
Yeah.
All right, Lillison, I have an important question for you.
Yes.
Did you take an attack of opportunity this last turn?
This last turn, I have not
This last
taken
round.
I have not taken an attack of opportunity since my turn.
So that is since you...
No, she hasn't.
Okay, very good. Would you like to use your
have-
reaction to teleport?
I have an important question for you.
Yes.
Do I get to choose the destination of my teleport?
Yes, you do.
It is up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Oh boy.
Oh
boy, oh boy.
I am going to teleport as far up the statue as I can.
Okay.
Question for ordering, though. Kiva's gonna wait to see where people are going.
I think it happens simultaneously.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if Kiva
Simultaneously.
says that Lillison is staying down there, she's not going.
Well, you
Metron's coming up.
You don't get to do that. It's simultaneous.
All right.
Metron's
She'll
gonna
just
come
drop
up and like teleport right next to
All right.
Amity.
With that, the two of you, Metron and Lillison, teleport. Let me remove you from this floor and put you back on the first floor. You're heading up to the place next to Amity and the others. All right. With that, you take the paw of the small silvery rabbit conjured by Amity's tail and apparate into the upper floor, back into the dining hall. And at the moment, you turn around and you see Lillison in her massive bestial form, now doing her best King Kong impression as she clings to the side of the massive statue, wrapping a hand right around its head in the darkness of the vast chamber beyond.
It is still Metrion's turn if he wants to do anything else this turn.
This is correct.
Yeah. I'm going to run. Where's Ismark?
Ismark is to the south.
All right, yeah, I'm running to the others and just booking it. And that's my turn.
Okay. Very good. All right. With that, Metrion's turn has ended. Let me just take a look at something real quick. All right. Just checking something real quick. Okay, very good. Great. Okay, it is now Amity's turn.
Wow. I mean, there's just the big thing climbing the statue, huh? I guess Amity closes the one of these set of two doors. I don't know if Amity has a plan enough to do anything useful on her turn, but she's at least going to turn to everyone else and be like, all right, there's probably some kind of wizard within that darkness. Hopefully Lillison takes care of it.
We need to get her back in here. But we can't drop the polymorph or she'll die. Or, before she falls.
We all need to get over there.
One of the two, yeah. Ideally if we can convince her, but I'm not sure if I can get through. I don't know.
I can get two of us over there, but that's all. Yeah,
Damn. Then that won't be of any help to her unless we can get her out, too. And she didn't take the opportunity then, so I presume she's not in her right mind.
Casimir,
what's happening?
Yeah.
You don't have
I mean,
time.
no, I guess freaking dodge action. I'm not doing any actions that are important.
Okay.
Casimir, you know when she turns back into Lillison, right? Like if she takes a lot of damage.
He nods. I don't think that it should be right now, but hopefully she'll be returned to her senses. He calls out, Lillison! That's enough! Alright, that is the end of Amity's turn. Ismark will take the dodge action with a nervous glance at Irina. Kiva, you are up. What are you doing?
Help, is the entire balcony gone?
The entire balcony is gone. It is a sheer 30-foot drop, and Lillison is King Konging her way up the statue.
Okay, obviously she can't go through Esmeralda and Amity like that, but she is going to stay as close as possible between them and get ready to jump down to the lower level if needed. If Lillison gets hurt. So that's her thing.
All right, very good. That is the end of your turn. Lillison, what would you like to do? It is your turn.
Lillison would like to keep climbing.
Okay. You climb to the top. You get your hands around the massive head of the stone statue. Looking upon it, you can see again its hands outstretched as if casting a spell, and looking toward the face of it, you actually cannot see any features. It appears that the face itself is nothing more than a void of inky blackness. There is no sign of any creatures or anything else up here.
Okay. Lillison is going to kind of... I don't want to say swipe at, because that sounds like an attack, but like sort of move forward and like feel at the face, if there's a face.
All right, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
Oh no.
Oh.
Not great.
18.
Oh shit.
Shit.
Okay. You hear somewhere in the back of your head a whispering voice that echoes thoughts in your head, but for whatever reason, they don't quite make sense. They don't quite connect. You feel something pushing at you, but somehow your brutish mind is too resilient to be twisted in such a way. You kind of feel at the face, and you feel that it seems to have... you can feel a nose that seems like the carving of a mouth and two eyes, but as your massive thumbs and fingers try to push at them, you feel that the eyes seem to be hollow.
How hollow are they?
You feel like you can actually push, not your whole fist, but like one of your fingers through side. They're like 2 feet wide each.
Wait, 2 feet wide? I could push like a finger in?
Well, I mean, your arm is like, how big? Like, you're 15 feet tall. I'm not good at proportions.
Okay.
You could probably like push a hand in. No, I would say you can't push a whole hand in.
Okay, I would like to use my action to take a fist to each of these eyes.
Okay, go for it.
That's 28 to hit with 25 damage for the first one.
All right.
26 to hit with 27 damage for the second one.
Okay. You smash each of the eyes. You hear cracking and splintering as you feel like the granite has been weakened by the punches. You feel like one more blow on either eye would probably smash it in.
Cool.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
That's the end of my turn.
All right. Very good. With that, next up, Casimir looking around. What is she doing? What do we do now? I can't withdraw the spell without her falling from there.
I don't know. I think we wait for the shoe to drop.
He nods. He will do nothing on his turn. Esmeralda will do nothing on her turn. Erithrundir and Metron, anything that you would like to do? You see Lillison King Konging up the statue and just punching the face repeatedly.
I don't see that because I'm burying my face into Davian's cloak and weeping. That's my turn.
All right. Davian scoffs. Oh, gross! Don't get my cloak wet. All right, it's already got enough snow on it.
Okay. Erithrundir has an idea. He uses a bonus act. He looks at the others. This is stupid, but I think I can do this without getting hurt. If I go down, try to make sure I don't die. And he taps into the magic of the Blade Song again. And then lets haste flow through himself. Okay, so that is, which doubles his movement speed again to 80 feet. Now, climbing's half movement, right?
That's correct. Given the walls here, though, I would say they're basically just sheer amber.
There's a rope.
There is a rope, this is true.
Okay. Okay, so I need to work out some distances real fast. Okay, so that gets me... I have 160 feet to play with, so... 60 down, 50 back, 50 there, 50 back. Okay, screw it. And Earthrendir jumps into open air. But as he falls, there's another shimmer of magic, a quick slash with his wand, and he casts Featherfall on himself.
Okay, you float peacefully down to the floor.
Okay, I can't see my token anymore.
I just placed your token on the lower floor. You should be there now.
God bless.
All right, where would you like to move?
I will tell you once the page loads.
All good?
Okay, so floating down to the bottom, he is going to use his expanded movement to run up to the... Okay, I can't see walls. I am just on a gray screen.
All good.
Okay, I can't move anywhere.
Just describe it to me.
Okay, so Earthrendir jumps down and is going to run in front of the statue to finally see what this thing is doing. What this is, what is happening.
All right. So you move your way around to the front side of the statue. And although I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... You said you have 50 feet of movement?
I have 160.
Oh!
Haste!
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, you can spend 50 feet of movement to get in front of the statue. You see at the face of the statue just an inky void of blackness every time Lilison pulls back her fist, and you see... you can't see any cracks, but you hear the sound of splintering stone and like a fine dust and large shards crumbling down through the air around you. Lilison just clutching onto this massive thing and just slamming her fist into it repeatedly.
Okay, can he see what she's slamming her fists into? Like what?
Nope, it is where the face of this statue would be, but instead it is just a void of utter blackness.
Magical darkness, son of a bitch. Alright, so he's used 50 feet of movement, he has 110 left. He calls up to Lilison. Lilison, he's not worth it. Come back to us, please.
Angry roar.
God damn it. All right. In that case, he's going to, seeing now what needs to be done, he's going to use the remainder of his movement to go back and then climb back up.
All right.
And once he finds himself back on the thing again, this top of the statue, void of magical darkness. Probably, I think whatever's attacking's up there. I think I can get rid of the darkness next turn to give Lilison room to work, but I don't know what's going on up there, what this thing is. And that's his turn.
All right, very good. With that, Lilison, as you continue pounding, smashing at the face of the statue, I will need you to make another wisdom saving throw, please.
I would love to. 7.
You hear a whisper in your mind. It tugs at your thoughts in a strange way. This place is too dark, too cold for you. Wouldn't it be so much nicer outside? And you feel a deep compulsion pulling and welling up at the center of your simple beast's mind that thinks, yes, perhaps I should leave this temple.
Question. Do I actually use the mental stats of my old form or my new form?
You do. It is a polymorph. It changes the entire stat block. There is nothing of Lilison left for the moment.
Okay. In that case, I believe the fastest way down is just to drop?
You don't need to do it now. There's no reaction here. But you are, by whatever is whispering to you, you are now charmed and compelled to pursue that course of action.
Alright, fair enough.
Alright. With that, Amity, anything you'd like to do?
Amity is going to, while she sort of watches this all play out, just sneak in a quick Cure Wounds on herself. Allies might follow in future turns.
Alright. Ismark will do nothing. Anything that Kiva wants to do. You can see that Lilison's form seems to have gotten kind of a strange look in his eyes. It's kind of halted its assault for the moment.
Can she recognize it having been charmed several times?
I would say no. She just seems to be hesitating.
Okay, Kiva is even more ready to jump down. And that is her turn.
Alright, very good. Lillison, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Lillison is going to drop to the ground, probably by just falling.
Yep. You are large enough that I would say you only take, let's say, from around a 35-foot height. Let's treat that as about 1d6. It's not a lot.
Okay, so take 4 damage.
Okay. And I would say that you do land prone from that, but you can stand up easily enough.
Okay, Lillison stands up and starts walking away to the south, I guess.
All right. Are you using your action to dash?
Sure.
All right.
Bye.
Jesus.
All right. The rest of you see Lillison just drop both knuckles to the ground and just start galloping across the floor to the south, away from the statue.
The hell?
Does that count as Kiva being able to jump down if she was waiting for something to happen to Lillison?
I mean, you can jump down if you want to. She seems to be leaving the statue behind. You're not sure what she's doing. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, Kiva does not like that at all, so she probably would jump down because she's impulsive.
I would say that looking around, you can see before you jump that she does seem to be moving toward. Well, she just vanishes into the darkness to the south.
Yeah, I mean, regardless.
What you call that toward the entrance. Do you want to jump?
Aerith looks at Kiva. I can catch up with her. I'm fast. I don't think you can keep up.
She's gonna do it. Yeah, because it was sort of like a readied thing. I mean, like,
Go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So you leap off. Are you taking the rope or are you just jumping?
I mean, there's a rope, so I would assume that she would use.
All right.
the rope.
So you can move 1 plus another 10 feet down the rope. So you were 20 feet from the bottom.
That's all? Even with my 40 feet?
You are 15.
She's 15 feet from the bottom.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And I can't jump the rest of the way?
I mean, you could, but you wouldn't have any movement left. Actually, no, you can't, because you can't use environmental interactions. Actually, no, I'd say you can drop it and drop it to the ground, but you wouldn't have any movement left anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. She'll just wait
All
for
right,
her turn.
so you
'cause
drop
this
it and
is
fall to the ground.
technically a reaction.
All right, and you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage and land prone.
Sexy.
All right. That is the end of your reaction. And so that is the end of Lillison's turn. Casimir's eyes go wide. And he looks toward Esmeralda and she nods. I think that it looks like she's heading for the exit. Do we try to beat her there? Meet her? I don't know what's going on.
Is there anything else that way, Casimir?
He frowns. I'm not sure. I believe that there are some corridors splitting off, but from the look of it, she didn't seem to be heading that way. I know there are staircases leading up to a balcony of sorts, and then just the main exit.
Then you guys go that way. I'll catch up. I'll stay with her and make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. And then once we can meet up again, we drop that damn spell.
He nods, entirely pale. Quite agreed.
But yeah, y'all, I'll keep up.
All right. Very good. That is the end of Casimir's turn. Or actually, no, Ez and Casimir are going to start bolting this way. And Erithrundir, you're up. Veteran's on deck.
He squeezes Amdy's hand. Be safe, darling. And then he's gonna climb down the rope.
Okay.
Once he gets to Kiva, he just kind of realizes that she is not listening to him right now, shakes his head, and is then going to use his haste action to dash. And can you put me on the first floor?
Yes.
Thank you. He's going to use his hasted action to dash and catch up with Lillison.
All right.
So that's 110 feet. Blade Song is fun. Haste is fun.
Are you moving to the center of the chamber or toward Lillison? Because you can hear her.
Where is Lillison?
She is to the south of you.
Wait, so did she go up the stairs, or?
She is currently you see her at the base of what seems like a black marble staircase.
I can't see her at all.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. And yeah, then in that case, like, yeah, he's gonna catch up with her.
Okay.
Is this where she is? I cannot see.
Yes, that's about where she is.
Okay. And she looks like she's just on a straight shot for the exit.
Looks like it, yeah.
Okay, in that case, he's going to use the remainder to scout ahead, see what she's walking into.
Okay. Very good. So you're getting your way to the top of the balcony?
Yeah.
How much movement do you have left?
I'm going to use my action. I had 110, so I think that was almost all of it.
Okay. So
and I'm back on the first floor now?
Hmm?
Okay, where? I need token vision again.
Yep, you can see that. You're at the south end. You're on the first floor.
Okay. I'm not worrying about the map. Oh, okay. Sorry, just moving my way over.
Okay.
Okay, where's Airthrindir?
Airthrindir is on the balcony on the south side on the stairs. On the first floor.
Okay, I don't see his token.
All good? What would you like to do? Is your movement
Okay,
up,
he's
right?
going to... There's an obvious path leading up, right? Like out...
Yes.
Okay, he's going to check to make sure there's nothing in that. He's going to use his action to dash, doubling his move, giving him another 80 feet. And...
another 80 feet?
Yes, haste in fact works that way.
What?
It's silly. So yeah, he uses haste action to dash, and now he uses his regular action to dash. And so he has 240 feet total. And so he's just going to scout to make sure there is nothing in Lillison's way that would stop her from getting out into the open.
Okay, so you have another how many feet?
80.
Jesus Christ. All right. You scout toward the overlook. You find yourself on a tall balcony overlooking the space. Let me just check to see what I have here. Yes. You climb the stairs as quickly as you can. You are moving like a blur of wind at this moment. You see a 20-foot wide balcony of black marble with a shattered railing overlooking the vast temple behind you. You ascend the black marble staircase. You can see the vaulted ceiling 30 feet overhead, the golden sheen of the walls lending a somewhat bitter gloom to the darkness. You can see a set of amber doors standing closed at the west end of the balcony, and you're briefly reminded of the doors that Esmeralda closed when you first entered. And you see another pair of amber doors open to the east. To the south of you, you just see a corridor, a time-ravaged hallway with arrow slits in the walls, as well as ice steps ascending 10 feet to light on the other side.
Okay, he's going to stop there and then move back so he can see Lillison from the overlook and just kind of beckon her over as quick to get her to come this way.
All right, sounds good. With that is the end of your go of it, which means Metreon, you see Casimir and Esmeralda running as quickly as they can past you.
Oh, bloody hell. So yeah, I'll run towards where Esmeralda was, and then from this little arrow slit, can I see Queen Kong running up the steps?
Yes. In fact, you can just barely see the top of her shoulders.
Oh, hell. And I will run with Casimir and Esmeralda. I assume they're running towards the exit?
Yes, they seem to be doing that.
Yeah, so I will use the rest of my movement to keep going. And then I'll use my action and bonus action to dash.
Got it. All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes. I with that movement though, I would be out of the temple.
Okay. You're heading through the fissure, right? The mountain folk chamber, like
yes.
the crack in the wall.
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. You lickety split, squeeze through there. I would say, I don't know if you can make it all the way, but you can make it a good way, just like gasping for that chill, fresh mountain air.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. With that is the end of your turn. Erthrendir.
It's my turn
around.
again.
No, it is not your turn.
Oh boy.
You turn around looking at Lillison, beckoning for her to follow, and there's a brief moment of pause, and then you hear a whistling echoing through the air.
Oh, fuck.
Screaming through the darkness coming at you from straight ahead. You see a small crackling bolt of flame tinged and writhed with gold and black veins.
I hate my life.
And then it explodes in a massive fireball.
I am glad I have advantage on these right now. $22.
Okay. That's going to be half damage for 14 points of fire damage.
Shit, I'm burning through my slots. 14... Yeah, fuck it. I'll absorb elements. I don't really have a better choice. So 7.
Alright.
Okay, and a concentration check.
Yep.
God help me. Nat 20!
Alright. Haste is still alive. No stuns this round. Yet. Alright. Amity, you're up. Everyone's running away. Kiva's down on the bottom floor for some reason. What are you doing?
I don't know why Kiva's down on the bottom floor, but Amity's running after friends here. Stopping slightly earlier than she could, just to get a view out of this arrow slit to see what's going on down below.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone's just sort of running to the south to intercept Lillison. Next.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Ismark and Irina together will begin making their way and hustling down after you. And Kiva, it is your turn. You can hear, but
She just would have heard Erthrendir get blown up, right?
yes, you see a massive gout of flame by the southern door. You see Lillison charging up the stairs. For a moment, you see Erthrendir's figure uniform lanced with blinding white crimson light, lanced with black shadows, and he holds up a hand, and you see that misty wall crackling with arctic energies once more absorbs some of the blow, but he seems somewhat hunched over it for a moment, and then the light fades, and you're alone in the darkness again.
Kiva's
Upstairs, you just hear the sound of footsteps slamming away and swiftly heading south.
Yeah, Kiva's just gonna use her action to dash and follow in the direction that Lillison ran off into.
All right, so that's 80 feet.
Yep.
All right. All right, very good. That's the end of your turn, right? Okay,
yes.
Yep. All right, great. With that, next up is Lillison. Kiva is in front of you. Erthrendir just got lit up. Let me see something here. Okay, cool. You can still feel the compulsion on your mind, driving you toward the exit.
Does Kiva look like she's trying to stop me?
No, she's just following you.
Okay. So I can see my token, but I can't see much around it because I think I don't have dark vision in this form.
You do not. That's correct.
I would like to just keep moving towards the exit with my 80 feet of movement.
All right. Very good. With that, I would say you're able to make your way. Let me just take a look at how everything's laid out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10, 11. You can make your way to around where Erthandir is and then start squeezing through.
I will start squeezing through.
All right. I would say you can just kind of get yourself in there.
Okay.
All right. Very good. That is the end of your go. Davian is going to make a break for it as well, following along with everyone else. Casimir will head out, following in Metron's footsteps. Not quite able to get the exit, but close enough for now. Esmeralda will do the same. And Erthandir, you're up. You just got somewhat blown up with a fireball. Lilison is trying to squeeze her way past you through this small passageway to the exit, and you see Kiva standing alone on these stairs.
Okay, did you see where the fireball came from?
It seemed to come from directly ahead of you, directly to the north.
To the... What?
Directly from the north.
Like, from the direction of the statue?
Exactly.
Ah... That's cheery. Alright. Okay, Serena, I have a strange question for you. Can I drag Kiva? Is that alright? Like, with the understanding that they're running together and she's not literally being towed like a particularly wayward skier.
I can't see anyone else on the map, so I don't.
Yeah, I just see darkness.
I'm like alone in this hall, so I don't see how that's possible.
You're on the stairs. At least for me.
Oh, because in my map, I moved 80 feet and I'm not on the stairs. I'm in the center of the hallway, about 4 squares from the double doors.
Oh. Okay, that is
no,
not...
she's midway on the stairs.
Okay,
there are no stairs on my map right now. I'm literally in the middle of
I'm moving you to
point of order, please.
Yes.
Where is everyone?
Okay.
All right, Kiva, you're on the
So
stairs.
Lilith went up the stairs? Because that's different than what I was imagining. I thought she was
Correct,
going
she went up the stairs. You're good. No, she was going south.
The doors are also south for me.
Those are not the exit doors. That is a lower level.
Okay.
You're good.
But yeah, question remains. Is that all right?
I mean, if he explains himself first.
He will explain himself, although it's...
I mean...
So Erthandir arrives in just a blur of motion, so fast that it's just a bit of red and green until he just stops panting. Need to get out? That thing? Shooting fireballs at us? Really long range. It okay if I take you along? Please? Thank you. Hi.
Yeah, that's fine.
Splendid! Let's go!
So you spend 45 feet of movement to get there, and then you take her hand and pull her with you?
Yes, which leaves 195 feet remaining, halve to 90.
Okay.
So, yeah. Out, please.
All right, 90 feet. God damn it.
So yeah, preferably like out of the temple, if we can get that far.
Yes, I think that's very feasible.
Okay, excellent. Then yeah, Erthandir just doing his best to make sure she can like stay on her feet. There's just a jet engine as the two of them blur out into the fresh packed snow. After which he collapses, panting onto the ground. That is his turn.
All right. With that, I would say, assuming everyone is continuing to make their way out of the temple, according to Amity and Lillison, does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Amity too?
Yeah.
All right, with that, moving together, moving swiftly, Lillison squeezing her way through till she bursts out the other side atop the icy stairs. Amity keeping tail with the rest of your friends and companions as you storm toward the exit, catching Casimir and Esmeralda, and then squeezing your way through the fissure to where you can see Metron waiting for you in the exterior, shivering in the icy cold. Each of you manages to burst forth into the snowy expanse of the mountain beyond the Emperor Temple and see each other huddling there quietly in the cold snow.
What the fuck just happened? Casimir's out here too, right? Hello?
Yes, Casimir is out here. He's just behind you with Esmeralda, and Amity and the others following behind.
And we're completely out of the fissure, though. We're like on the front lawn, quote unquote, of the temple.
Yes, you can see Loisin burst out the other side as well, and you can actually see Earthinger and Kiva like emerge in a blur, like the Flash or fucking Sonic the Hedgehog or something, just apparate with a lightning crack.
Gotta go fast. So as soon as we're out and in the clear of the snow, I am going to, and you can let me know if I have to roll for this. I'm going to take Casimir up by the cloak, by his mantle, and press him up against the nearest mountain range as hard as I can.
I have 2 questions.
Yes, as soon as you're outside, Casimir drops the polymorph.
By the way, Kiva's going to help Metreon with that and point the sun sword at his throat.
I have 3 questions.
So wait, whose throat are you putting the sun sword at?
Casimir.
All right, Casimir holds up his hands, and Loisin is back into her normal shape.
What were your questions, Kaya?
What? Okay, first, was the suggestion to get out or to stay out?
The outside is much nicer than the inside. You should be outside.
Okay, so I assume that that's still operative.
Correct.
Okay. Lillison, once the polymorph drops, she falls to her hands and knees, and she is just cackling maniacally.
I'd say once that happens, Metron will relax a bit off of Casimir, shifting his gaze towards Lillison and looking very concerned at her.
Kiva just points the sword a little bit closer at Lillison's creepy cackling. Like, what the fuck did you do?
I didn't do anything. It's an ordinary spell. It just transforms into a bestial form. I mean, yes, there may be some temporary degradation of intelligence or mental acuities, but it's not a permanent effect. It doesn't change the target's spirits in any way. It doesn't change their emotional state. I swear, I've done nothing to meddle with her mind.
Metron just looks back at him and kind of grits his teeth a bit, and he wants to be angry, but he gets the sense that even though, like, because Casimir's told him he's not gone that deep, he lets him go and just sort of huff and then walks towards Lillison to check and see if she's okay. And he'll crouch down by Lillison. I don't know if she notices or cares, but he's just going to watch her.
All right.
Is Kiva still threatening Casimir?
That's a good question. I think she was pointing the sun sword kind of like baffledly toward Lillison, but
no, she's like pointing the sun sword like at him still, like she's ready to just run him through if he acts shifty in any way. Maybe not as threateningly once he explains, but like she's furious and ready to cut some skulls.
Very fair.
Lil. Metron will kind of like fling some snow at her.
Her cackling gets a little cut off as the snow like paffs into her face, but she kind of, from her hands and knees, kind of falls over onto her side and rests her head against the ground, just grinning.
Aerith, there's a puff of snow, and Aerith slows to a stop next to her, looking down. Can he see anything wrong with her? Given
Make an
his
insight
experience in
check
this area?
or medicine check, your choice.
Alright, medicine it is. 8!
It's difficult to tell. She feels cold. She seems to have a bit of a... Would you say, Kaya, that Lillison has a bit of a strange expression in her eyes?
Oh yeah, and also she's,
Yeah.
Just grinning madly.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of medical, physiological things, there's nothing that leaps out to you.
Okay.
I mean, some corner of the back of your mind knows that she's like currently huddled in a pile of snow and does not seem to be shivering or the least bit bothered by it.
No,
We
we know that bit. That's not new. He squats down next to her. Hey, talk to me, all right? How you doing?
Oh, that was so. Oh, that felt so good.
Deep breaths. Keep talking. What felt good?
Just being, just having so much space in the world, and the world having to bend around me for a change.
Okay. All right. Aerith looks up at Metreon with an expression, just whispers, "Do you have any idea?"
Metron just shrugs and puts his hands up.
Okay.
Well, Lil, we's out here now, so maybe we can get back together and try to figure out how the fuck we're gonna get through all this. And Metron shoots another pointed glance up at Casimir.
Yeah, why don't we sit down for a minute? And then the haste wears off, and Aerithrindir just crumples to the ground next to Lillison, like a puppet with his strings cut.
Oh, it looks fun. That looks nice.
That wasn't me this time. I swear, nothing to do with that.
Metron, taking a cue from Aerithrindir, also just kind of slumps down and lays down beside Lillison, looking up at the sky.
Every muscle in my legs is trying to escape every other muscle. It's like you took 2 slabs of molten iron and shoved them in my bones. Ow.
I hate ghosts. I really hate ghosts.
I hate
Casimir-
polymorph.
Casimir looks very hesitantly at Kiva, as though inquisitively wondering whether she's going to attack him in the immediate future.
She looks at him as if she could, like, read his mind. She's like, don't give me a reason, and I won't hurt you.
He gives you a small nod, and then, following in Metreon and Aerithrindir's footsteps, collapses onto the ground. Not on a pile, but like onto his like knees.
We're all making
and, like,
snow angels. It's fine.
Like clumsily tries to put himself into a dignified, like, crisscross position. You can see that he is shaking with obvious adrenaline.
Yeah, Kiva then, like, turns off the sun sword, walks over to Irina, and face plants into her shoulder.
Irina's breathing hard. Right, so, I was in the hallway for most of that. What the hell has just happened? I heard the rock shattering, something roaring, I think it was Lillison, everyone was running. And also something exploded. What was going on in there? And are you all okay?
No, not okay at all, really.
Are we done with this place? Are we going back in? Was this what we came here for? I mean, what's going on?
Well, we didn't find any crypts, and that's where we was told that an item's supposed to be, and
Didn't find anything else about Strahd either.
Other than a scale model of his castle, we
That
think.
bit's pretty nice.
Wait, what? You found what?
Oh yeah, you missed it when you were completely almost getting us all killed.
but you look. I'm sure you look great.
It was
terrifying.
really cool though.
But what did you find?
It's like a dollhouse version of Strahd's castle. Like the one in Death House, only this one we couldn't open it up and like look at the inside. Well, Emily wanted to, but then you went off.
And it was twice our heights. But yes.
Well, that too, yeah.
Oh, but the sheer amount of detail. But do I have
Well, that's
to...
what we were trying to look at, and then big, massive tree Lillison decided differently for us.
I didn't. I was listening to a very nice story that Arthur was telling me. Do I have to roll anything to figure out that I had suggestion cast? Or
I would say, given your unique history, I would say give me an intelligence or wisdom check, your choice.
That's a 19 on the intelligence check.
You immediately begin wondering why you left the temple, and your mind immediately veers away from it, as if refusing to let you even ponder the question.
Interesting.
You feel like you recognize the symptom of enchantment magic here, but you're not sure where to put your finger on it.
Okay.
Aerith looks at her. Are you okay?
Yes. Yes. Oh, there under that darkness. There's a face in there, and the eyes. The eyes are hollow. And after my first attempt at breaking it, I knew that if I tried again, the entire thing would crack open. And Casimir, thank you so much.
Wait, why'd you stop then?
There was a,
Aerith looks at her, and given his unique history with suggestion, is this enough?
I would say yes. You can recognize, especially given what you saw of her sudden pause and hesitation, your thought process before this was probably either she chose to run away or something made her run away. And you're pretty firmly settling on the suspicion of, yeah, there's probably some mind manipulation going around here.
All right. If she'll let him, he's going to take her hand in his palm. Lilson, may I cast a spell on you?
She goes to pull her hand away and then stops. Her expression starts settling back down again into its, usual, its usual expression of coldness and calm. And after a moment, she swallows and she nods at him.
All right. Spell, shatter, shiver, and break. Give back my friend that you tried to take. And he's going to cast Dispel Magic.
All right. You watch as suddenly, as the wisps of arcane power extend from Erthrindir's words, dark wisps of black smoke twisted with orange that is so dark it could almost be called a black or brown itself, is violently expelled from her eyes and ears. Lawson, you feel your throat tense up for a second as your body roils, your muscles rejecting themselves for a moment, and then your head locks forward again, and you feel your mind clear. You remember the voice that whispered to you. You remember something twisting your thoughts and suggesting that the outside would be so much better. And you realize for the moment that for the past several minutes, you've not been looking even once toward the entryway of the temple. And now you realize that something was keeping you from it. And now you can look at the dark, gaping void that leads back into that darkness, unflinchingly. And you know, in that instant, that whatever enchantment had tinged the corners and recesses of your mind has been lifted.
Lillison's head snaps up as she stares at the entrance, and after a few moments, she looks back towards Erthrindir and nods and just says, "Thank you so much."
Always. Okay. Now that we've got you back, and we're all safe, and that thing doesn't seem to be pursuing us, what do we do now?
So can we just take I don't know, maybe like a 8, 12, 24-hour nap somewhere? I don't know. Maybe dig a hole in here so I could just bury myself. I already feel like death.
The person that I was a few minutes ago very, very much wants to go back in and climb up that statue again and crush that head. But I suppose there is that room where those mountain folk were. We could stay there.
Randy,
yeah.
When you got slapped around by that ghosty thing in in Death House. Did you feel really tired?
Yeah. Well, I mean, admittedly, the next time I woke up was after it knocked me unconscious, so I felt pretty tired. But yeah, it was like someone was sapping at my bones, my blood. I just wanted to lie down and sleep forever.
Yeah, I mean, I've only felt like this once, but I think it was because I had mono.
Ooh, nasty business. Yeah. Maybe we sit down, we find somewhere safe, we sleep. And when we're in the morning, when we can wash off the scars of the fireballs and the specters, we figure out a plan. Does that sound good to everyone?
Rudy Tooty for me. Anything that involves me not having to do anything for the next 8 hours is grand.
All right. I hate to say this, but I don't think we should rest inside. Feels that thing might come back to finish the job.
It hasn't yet.
Well, we left. If we come back, that might be an incentive.
Casimir, do you have anything that's actually useful for this? Maybe a yurt? Maybe you can make a tiny hut or something?
He frowns and nods. I do believe that there's something I could do. I could construct us a bit of a rough shelter. It wouldn't be fully insulated, but it would be sufficient for the moment. He ponders that. I think I should be able to.
I can live with that.
Yeah, well then get to it then, yeah?
Right, give me one moment, please.
Yeah.
And he moves off to the side of the temple, just a bit of ways from the crack in the wall, and he looks back at you. How close by do we want to be?
Let's get at least 100 feet away. Far enough away that some staying in the entrance can't hurl a fireball or two at us. Since that is something they can do.
Yeah, apparently. Several times, in fact.
He nods.
Yeah.
Right, give me a moment.
Sure.
And he will move off to the directed space and begin chanting a word, and then he watches his eyes close and he plunges his hands into the snowy earth in the designated spot. You watch us suddenly bursting forth from the ground below. A large structure formed of several walls of solid stone cut at right angles and perpendicular to one another in a three-dimensional shape burst forth from the earth, shuddering through and kind of shaking the snow off them, melting them with an arcane heat. By the end of it, there is a very rough structure composed entirely of stone with a rough it's kind of a diagonal opening that at the front side that has a door-sized around 5 feet by 10 feet entryway, and the rest of it composed by a number of large stone panels that come together to construct the rest of a roughly built but as stable as they can reasonably appear structure.
Thank you.
Let's get something we can burn. All right, keep a fire.
Yep.
Amity, how you doing?
I'm not feeling terrible right now, but I'm not exactly looking forward to whatever's inside that dark circle.
Yeah. If we go back in there, I vote we just go around the perimeter. Never, ever go in that room.
Is there a path that does that?
Maybe. There were a few doors out that we found. At minimum, we can explore the side of the temple that we know doesn't lead that way. It seemed like I think we should do a little more before we call this expedition a bust.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a crypt that's going to make all this worthwhile, then
Or at least
Well.
knowledge of about Strahd's capabilities. We know he's been here now. Maybe he left clues.
I'm still thinking about ways that I could get back up there and just smash off the head of that statue.
Can see about some weight training.
Maybe on the
some
way out.
repelling gear.
No, I just need to very politely ask Casimir to do that again.
Aerith coughs. At least while we're here, may I request that we not use that spell unless it's desperate?
You mean a polymorph?
He's talking to Lillison, but yes.
Oh, Lillison.
Lillison looks at Erthrindir, and her expression goes a bit vulnerable and cracked.
I mean, it was very useful. You did great, but while you were under its effects, you seemed not your normal self, even before you started climbing on the statue. If it goes into a big battle and you want to start smashing heads again, I don't want to stop you, but while we're exploring and trying to make sure we do this, we're safe, then I don't want that behavior to put us at risk. I'm sorry.
I see. Of course, we have to be tactical about this, yes?
Yeah. Though, once we get out of here, Amity knows the spell, and I bet she'd be fine with, once we have a quiet moment, letting you play around in that space again.
Lillison stands up and walks over to where Kiva is.
Everything all right?
Yes, Casimir made us a very nice shelter for sleeping in, or something.
Oh, that thing that weird people do. Sleep.
Yes, sleeping or brooding in, I suppose.
Now you're speaking my language. Is this your way of inviting me inside?
I mean, I didn't think you needed an invitation to go inside, do you?
She, looks like she's about to start making, fangs with her fingers joke, and then is like, maybe I shouldn't do it. And then she's like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it in front of Lillison, right? So she makes the, little fangs gesture at you awkwardly.
Lillison smiles a bit, and then her expression goes stricken, and she says, I am going to have to write about all of this, aren't I?
I'll write the bit about what you were like as a giant tree monkey, by the way, because, it was really funny.
Perhaps if you're going to do that, don't send it to him.
Oh no, I'm going to write it down in my journal, and then when we get out of here, I'm going to get it painted, like a picture of it painted from the description, and hang it in my home.
I would very much like to see that, I think.
I suppose we should get inside from the cold now. Not that you need it, but, us living people do.
Lillison rolls her eyes at the word living and offers Kiva a hand up.
Yeah, Kiva will take it and then realize that her ass is freezing because she's been sitting in the snow, and walk with Lillison into whatever this, tiny hut thing that we are in is.
Yeah, you'd also see just Metron crawling on hands and knees, as slowly but as quickly as he can,
Can Kiva like half drag him by the scruff of his neck, like a mama cat drags a kitten?
Yeah,
on the way?
his body will totally go limp, so you'll have to.
Awesome.
When Lillison offers Kiva a hand up, like, for a moment she looks very, very surprised that she no longer has a 23 strength and, cannot in fact just stand her ground and pull Kiva up.
And Kiva's pulling Lillison down to the ground as Lillison's trying to pull Kiva up.
Yeah.
You see Earthrendir's found his way into the corner of this place, and you see him, now that the snow has been cleared away, just fiddling with his boots, apparently just baffled at something, and he finally tugs one of them off and, sort of quizzically presents the sole to the rest of you, and you can see that the thick surface, it looks like it's been scorched with how much it's been worn away. It's down to the point where, he presses a finger and you can see the outline through the sole. Jesus Christ. Ah, stupid. I don't know, I'm thinking of Lathendarian Saints these days. It's weird.
Casimir, you a cobbler too?
He frowns and shakes his head. No, this is just a repurposed spell.
Maybe, hold off on using that one again. But God, was it fun.
I'm gonna go to bed now.
Good plan. We'll, do usual watches.
If you don't mind, I think I got to take this one out.
Fair enough. I'll take your spot.
Thank you.
He gives him a thumbs up.
Do we not have enough NPCs that the PCs themselves don't have to do a watch? I feel like if we just let the NPCs do it, we don't have to.
Let's treat ourselves.
You've got, if you all want to take a full night's rest, it's not like Earthrendir and Kiva will be taking a full night's rest because you only need 4 hours, not 8. But if you want to slack off, technically you've got, Irina, Ismark, Casimir, Davian, Esmeralda. You've got 5. That's enough for 10 hours. The one downside is you wouldn't get double shifts. So if one of them gets charmed by Strahd or knocked unconscious, you wouldn't have any backups.
Kiva's going to do her usual. Watch anyway, and if Esmeralda wants to join her, and I don't know that they can huddle for warmth or whatever, that's weird.
Okay. Davian grouses at the suggestion. I'm an old man, you want me staying up? Fine.
Were you recently hit by a ghost that drained most of the vitality out of your body?
He almost moves to retort and then says, right, probably not.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
In his defense, though, he is halfway to death anyway, so.
Rude.
Oh, listen.
He's
got the best
a human, right? So it's literally true.
Yeah,
Still rude!
I'm just pointing out he's old.
It's not really any offense meant. It's just.
All right, so I presume that a lot of you building a fire. We're rations ready. All right,
all that. Yes.
As you do so, Lillison, what are you doing during this time?
Lillison is sitting in a corner, and for the past while, she has actually been, sort of sitting, proud and upright. But as time goes on, you see her sort of shrink down into herself until she is in her sort of usual huddled in a corner stance, and she is taking out a piece of paper, and she has written a few words on it and is just staring.
At this, you hear footsteps crunching through the snow, and you hear someone clearing their throat, and you look up to see Davian with 2 mugs of what seem to be something warm in his hands. You mind if I take a seat, lass?
Certainly.
He nods. Appreciate it. Thank you. He takes one of the mugs. You noticed one of them in his pack before, and you're wondering if he warmed up some kind of drink. He begins sipping the one that he has. So, that was a bit of an experience. How you holding up?
I am in my right mind again, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, right mind's a bit of a state of being. That's not what I'm asking, lass. How are you doing after that? I heard what you said out in the snow.
It's difficult to be this again. And she sort of gestures down over her body.
He nods, looking surprisingly sympathetic for such a crotchety old man. Ugh, if I'll know it myself. You know, it's funny. I might actually halfway understand. I know that we've swapped a few, let's say, private foibles in the past. But, look, you know that my family, we do what we can to try to keep things a little brighter around this valley than what might otherwise be, but, well, it can feel tough, I think. Feeling like you know enough, maybe you can do enough, but not quite enough to make anything different in a way that matters. And then suddenly, somehow, maybe you feel some way that you realize that you had something you didn't know you ever had. Maybe you could do something you didn't think you could do before. And I know it can feel intoxicating, lass, but take it from an old man who's disappointed himself in a few too many others too many times. You can't do as much as you think you can. At least not alone. Those tools are nice, you hear, but they ain't what make you what it's worth. You know? But I can understand your frustrations. They're real, and I can't speak to whatever you've gone through to build that up in there inside you. But just know that the honeypot, that whatever you're tasting around in the back of your mind right now, it's not as deep or as sweet as you're thinking it is. Whatever you think everyone else has, their portions aren't as big as you might believe.
Her brows draw down, and she seems to be thinking about his words for a moment. She leans over and takes a look at what is in the second mug.
It is basically just hot tea. It is, Barovian tea. It doesn't smell super flavorful. You're pretty sure you've smelled this kind of blend at, a Vistani camp somewhere.
Is it placed in a place that seems to indicate that it's for her?
It very much is. It has been placed, in that awkward, patriarchal, I'm not going to give this to you, but it's pretty clearly 6 inches closer to you than it is to me kind of way.
Lillison leans over and cautiously takes it, ready to leave it alone if he starts, maintaining that it's not for her.
So she's not reaching for it?
She is.
Okay, got it. It feels warm, surprisingly hot to your fingers and almost scalding for a second, but you can take it by the kind of handle of the mug and bring it up so it's not quite as bad. It's comforting in a way. Maybe not to drink it still seems a bit scalding to your taste, but there's a comfort to the warmth.
Yeah, she's going to take it at first with both hands, but then, pulls her hand away and shakes it a little bit, and then picks it up by the handle and just holds it kind of close. And then after a very, very long time, she says, "It is everyone else's portion, at the very least, that they can do things in the world. Be somebody, be part of the weave of society, speak to other people, and have a life in front of them without needing to constantly worry about how they're hurting everybody else around them.
He gives you a long, lingering look as he takes another pull from his own tea. Right. Well, you'll have to excuse me. I haven't known you for quite a long time. Nor your friends, but if I can't say whatever happens, whatever you've dealt with, whatever you've seen, but in the time that you've been with your friends, have you hurt them as bad as you think you have? Because they don't seem too hurt to me. They seem worried, aye, and perhaps that's an emotional kind of hurt, but other than that...
She looks down at the letter that she started with the date at the top and the salutation, Lord von Zarevich, and she says quietly, I've tried to learn how to be careful. And if I had a few minutes today where I didn't have to do that, it was more sweetness and more joy than I felt in a long time. But it's time to be responsible again, I suppose.
He shrugs. Perhaps, but regardless, I know how intoxicating it can feel to, if you'll excuse the turn of phrase, spread your wings and fly. Eh? It's not a bad thing to want to do it, but it's good to remember it to keep yourself grounded. Remember that there is more to life than that, and that it's good to give yourself that freedom. It's good to think that you might deserve some of that freedom. But it's important to remember that what matters ain't up there, or out there, or whatever it is that the experience was. So just remember to come back to Earth, alright?
She takes a deep breath and then just nods glumly.
Hey, and he kind of reaches out a hand toward her shoulder and like pauses, kind of remembering her avoidance of touch. I don't mean that you should feel limited by what you think you are or what you have been in the past. I know that, well, maybe myself accepted, being the old mad idiot that I am. Most folk can change in a certain way. And whatever you think you might not be capable of, I think you might want to look a little more closely at what you can do without those extra parts, right? You might not think so, but from the look in their eyes, your friends think you're a lot more than the boundaries you think are defining you. That's all. And he leans back and takes another sip of his tea.
Lillison's gaze goes up and out for a moment, actually to where Ismark is. And then she lowers her head, nods again, and takes a sip of tea.
He gives you a nod and, right, well, better make sure that those fools don't burn whatever dinner they're trying to cook. And he stands up and makes his way away from you back toward the fire.
Thank you.
He gives you a grunt, but it is the same non-committal grunt that you've heard him make at his daughter at one point when you saw the two of them in the Wizard of Wines. With your keen insight, you get a sense that it is less a tone. This particular tone is less a dismissal and more acknowledgement and perhaps a very small sliver of respectful endearment.
Aww.
Then he makes his way back to the fire. So, as you wind up your activities for the day in Casimir's not-so-tiny stone hut, is there anything more you would like to do before turning in for the evening?
Once folks are asleep, there is something that Aerith wants to say to Lillison, but that can wait.
Okay. In that case, Lillison, I presume you finished writing your letter at some point?
Yeah, after finishing her tea, she actually finishes writing it pretty quickly and folds it up.
Okay.
Is it difficult to find somebody to deliver it to?
You make your way out of the structure, looking around, and you think you see a small. By this point, it's evening or close to dusk, perhaps even night at this point. And you see a small black furred shape in one of the large alcoves with one of the faceless statues stand outside of the Ember Temple. As you step outside, it flaps down to meet you, and you see a small bat land in the cold snow at your feet.
She offers it the letter.
It takes it and takes once more to the air, before long vanishing into the darkening night.
And on her way back in would probably be where Erthrindir might catch her?
Yeah. Presuming folks have, settled down and the general watch location has started, he peeks his head out. Hey, got a moment?
Yes.
Sorry. He steps out looking a little sheepish and kind of indicates that they walk far enough away from the place to not be overheard. And once they are, he hands in his pockets, looking uncharacteristically sort of nervous. He says, "Look, I saw Davian talking with you, so I'll not labor on that. But I did hear what you said about when you first snapped out of the polymorph. About power and about change. And I don't have words about that. I think that's up to you. But," and he kind of pulls his wand out of his holster, "if you can't use polymorph, then I thought I might let you, if you'd like, have a different gift to train with. One that can use full advantage of the skills you do have. Speed, immense tactical acumen, and a damn fine work with a dagger. Would you like that?"
Her brows draw together and she says, "What are you getting at?"
There's a spell I used to catch up with you while you were one that I got from wizardry, from my dabblings in the arcane. Haste. I was hoping that if you were interested, that I might use my last slots of the day to let you train with it a little, see if it was something you'd enjoy, so that the next time we walk into one of those, that you'll have an edge in your corner, something that, well, it's not becoming a giant ape with 10-ton fists and the ability to punch through stone walls, but he gives her a sort of weak smile. I figure it's something, right?
She smiles a little reluctantly and she says, "I appreciate the gift if that's what you really want to do with your last magic of the day, but in a combat, you know that I'm not the one who would make the most use of it."
I am not talking about use. I'm not now. Sure, I could put this on Kiva, and she'd be even faster and even more, and destroy even more stuff with that thing of a sun sword. I'm not looking for raw tactical damage, Lillison. You make openings. You make possibilities that the rest of us can capitalize on. And I know you can do that. I think is more important than an extra sword swing or two, don't you?
Well, that's... The value of a tactical opening is only as much as those who follow up on the openings, but yes, I see your point.
Hey, you don't gotta. I figure I'm sorry to bring this up so soon after all this. I trust you. And back when I was feeling in my cabin, back when I felt like the world was too much to handle, that anything I'd try would be either a nightmare or would have no chance at making change, I know I would have appreciated a hand.
Lillison looks at him for several moments and then reaches out her hand as if she wants to shake his hand.
He looks a little confused, but he'll take it.
She holds it gently, and after a few moments, he can feel like the burning and the stinging of poison just sort of like emanating from her hand.
He feels it, and his grip tightens.
She shakes her head. I know what you're trying to do or symbolize, but I would like to play with the haste spell, but this, and she gives his hand a quick little squeeze and then tries to let it go.
He's not. Lillison, do it. Do it.
No.
I'm asking. You're scared. You think you're gonna hurt us. There's Amity's 10 feet away and can have me healed before anything happens. Do it. He's just looking straight at her. Please.
This is who I am all the time. And she's going to cast.
I mean it.
I guess make a con save.
I can and I will. $13.
That's 15 damage.
Okay.
Damn.
And you watch as the poison flows up air. Or would you prefer to narrate this?
It's less of a, this is less of a sort of attack per se, flavorfully, and more just a, the poison just sort of off gases from her, and you get the sense that as she watches Erthendir with mournful eyes, that this is the sort of thing that she is used to happening to people around her.
There's a cough, and his pallor goes green. Another spit onto the snow. And then he straightens. Well, look at that, Lillison Tornsail. I'm sorry. Lillison... I'll leave that name be. You hurt me. And he smiles. Funny. Seems like I'm still doing all right.
I see the point you're making, and I know it is a point you're making.
But
But there is a difference between a point, a conversation, and trying to build an entire life with handfuls of sand.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about building on your own. But I'm gonna, pardon me for being a Christmas card, but it starts with one point, doesn't it? One conversation. Just one after the other.
You should go and rest before I...
And she tries to pull her hand back again.
This time he lets go. You're not gonna hurt me. If you
I
were...
believe I just did.
You're not... Okay. You're not gonna hurt me in a way I can't recover from. Lilson, I'm going to be having nightmares about Barovia for the rest of my life. About fire and ash and fangs sinking into my neck. Of watching all of you die in my arms. But believe me when I say, the one thing that will never be in those visions, one thing that's never going to be causing me pain, is you.
Lillison lowers her head.
I'm sorry. You don't... If you want me to stop this, I understand. I wouldn't... If this is just something you need me to accept, then I can let go. But I'd prefer not to.
I think I would like to be alone and process things for some time now.
That works. Take care, Lawson. And he walks back, boots crunching on the snow. His face, something unreadable between acceptance and deep sorrow. And that's all.
Okay. With that, each of you turns in for the evening, unless there's anything else that you would like to do before beginning your long rest.
No.
Okay. With that, you turn in for the night and begin your rest in the cold as best you can. What blankets and bedrolls you're able beneath the covers of the warm weather clothing. Even then, as the temperature plunges, the night sky darkens, and the wind outside whips up a screaming chill. You find yourself shivering and blue and slowly struggling to fall to sleep, but slowly the cold does lull you in a strange sort of way into unconsciousness. And as you do, you find yourself sinking into rest and restful sleep. For most of you, blank, quiet, dreamless. But for one of you, for Amity, you find yourself standing at the center of a dark, cold room full of twisting shadows, and in the distance, a glimmer of amber. And that was where we'll end it for today.
Dun dun dun.
Jesus.
So that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, the Amber Temple is a cakewalk, and everyone who runs this module should know that, right?
We survived the big bad guy very easily.
Super easy.
The strategy of being in a separate room worked out excellently.
Yeah. What more could you ask for?
I really want to just wreck his house.
Monkey Lillison is my favorite
You did.
in the world.
You did.
Lillison.
Gorilla Sin.
Gorilla
Gorilla
Sin.
Sin.
We need to keep Casimir alive, like, for the rest of the campaign, guys. Because, Gorilla Sin versus Gorilla Din at the final battle is just,
Very important.
it's a thing. We can sell tickets to that cage match.
I
I'm
would
down.
watch. I'd buy.
Beautiful. Well, thank you to everyone for joining us today. I believe this wraps up this week's session, so we hope you enjoyed and stayed warm in the chill. We will see you all back in the mists next week. Until then, polymorph, but responsibly. And take care.